Hello, people of the future.
Hello.
Hi.
It is Wednesday, and like for the past 3 Wednesdays, we have not done sculpting. We haven't had a guest sculptor. But now, both of those things are changing. We're going to have a guest sculptor, and we're going to have sculpting tonight.
Dun, dun, dun. Sharing the truth.
So I'm going to say, oh, well, I got to go up here. Oh, I had a chance of catching up, and then I was slow, and now it's over. Okay, so I can catch up. Here we go. This is how it goes. Hello, Ken Zarish, Chonko City. Hello, Chonko City. This is my first time seeing you. Welcome.
You heard first.
Well, see, I don't get to read the names all the time, so unless they're like the first 30, and a lot of times people read comments to me, they don't say, this person said this, because it would just take too long. But, hi, Chonko, it's good to see you. John C., Scuba Steve, Edson Juice, Susan Atai, Jeremiah Dempsey. Oh, I lost you. That was so good.
So close.
So close.
Larry Hughes, Shaw Davies, Kat Swift, Stanley S., Ella's Fire, John Sheffield, Jacob Calger, Jennifer Pew Pew Pew, Grumpy Creations, Billy G. Thank you for wishing me happy sculpting. Yeah, everyone always says werewolf, but never how is a wolf. Warmonger, Tudwork Studios, a Knox on the Moon, Sal O'Connor, Ezekiel Bradshaw. Oh, I said hi to Jody. Dirty Santa. No. Me and the Smith. Hello, me and the Smith. I hope both of you are fine. Oh, he's in Sumac. The son of Nylander. Ken Zarish. Wait. Sons of Wayne. Riot Demon. Throwback Ludwig. Chad Smith. JLR 538 LM. Rob O'Brien. And I'll do 3 more.
Hi, Amber.
I
I saw Zombie Frack.
Zombie Frack, Lily, and the Hairy Beastie, hello from Scotland. All right, everybody else, hello. We'll talk to you later. I can't sit there and yell out names the whole time. We have work to do.
That's my job.
And boy, do we ever have work to do.
Urban Monster 65 says hi, your favorite YouTubers.
Hi, that's very kind. Appreciate that.
Says hi. Hops on the Tube says hi. Jen Davis says hi.
So we have
hello.
a blistering array. These are all the things we could sculpt tonight. There, I understand?
Ronald Bryan says, wow, that's a lot of tongue crunchers. Warmonger says, nothing better than sculpting bingo. Hi, Thor.
Rue, yo, because I can see where these are at, you are going to be my puller.
Hi.
Greyhouse Hunt says, good evening. Me and the Smith said, yes, love the crop stopper as well. Jordan
So
West says, hello, Alan Fruit.
Here's how it works. Both I, meaning Rue, and Stan, meaning Stan, will pull one of these. We're each going to pick 4. And then you guys pick from the 4 that we picked. So don't worry about it right now. And we're not even going to say what they all are until each of us have 4 picked. So,
Each of us.
yes. You are going to go ahead and draw first. And then once you draw one, then you read out what it is.
Mariah Patton,
All right.
hello from Leah and I.
Skaven.
A Skaven is a rat creature popularized in 40K fantasy. Skaven, very cool looking rat monsters. What have you got?
Neanderthal.
Neanderthal. That is one that I've been wanting to sculpt because I want to play a Neanderthal. Stan now has a gargoyle, which is, it's open up for interpretation as to what kind of gargoyle you want to do.
Monstar.
Okay, Rue has picked Monstar. Monstar is a Silverhawks villain. See, Ezekiel, it's not just Masters of the Universe. There's other early 90s, late 80s cartoons too. Stan, you get 2 more? What do you got?
Gin.
Oh, the gin. A genie. A genie. Yes. Oh.
Uh-oh.
All right. Rue has picked
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead. So Rue pulled Pumpkinhead. Oh, that's in my pile. I'm winning. All right. And Grizzlord. That's the first Masters of the Universe villain to get in there. So, Rue, pick your last one. I'm not helping inform your decision.
Ezekiel wants
Not
to
at all.
know what socks you're wearing tonight, Stan.
Because I want to make everything on that list.
What you got? Hordak.
Hordak is another Masters of the Universe villain.
He's been on that list for a really long
He has
time.
been on the list since the beginning.
A long time.
There's been a couple of times where he was pulled off the list and other characters got highlight. Now all of these guys go away. These are not even options for this evening, which is a shame because there's some good ones on here.
Chad Smith says, yay, sculpting. Blackheart 27 says, hey, everyone, hope everyone's well and healthy.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel wants to know what socks you're wearing, Stan.
Tonight, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Stan songs.
Ron Shep says, hey, Bruce Station, Stan.
Spider-Man.
Cat Swift says, so almost the whole gang. Where's Shannon?
She's over at the house. I'm sure she'll be by later.
Rob O'Brien says, who all is sculpting?
Me and Stan are sculpting. Stan and I guess is the proper way to say that.
I
ain't
should look
fancy.
at romantic right.
Or sculpting.
We ain't fancy.
And
Says, bingo time.
so now,
Rummy Creations. I had to work for this pizza.
these are the ones that I need people to vote for. And
Stan, Sake.
Hey, y'all.
Will-
Says, hi, guys.
will someone volunteer to tally Stan's votes? I need one of you viewers, one of you 85 people, 86 people to, well, they quit. 85 people to tally Stan's vote.
Okay. Brown says, how much would you create to, how much would you, I guess, charge to create an original character mask?
Email me. Right now we're doing a thing. This is a very focused, we only have 3 hours to get these guys done. So we're going to be a little more focused than normal, Realms. Email me and I will tell you all about my rates.
All right. Rob O'Brien says, I can.
All right,
So
Rob
I'll
O'Brien.
tally.
Everybody else, you guys get to start voting now for what Stan is going to sculpt. It is a Skaven, which is a rat man. It is a gargoyle, which is a stone monster. It is a djinn, which is a Middle Eastern genie creature created from fire. They say that man was created from clay and jinn were created from fire. And then Grizzlord, who is on the Horde team, and he is just a big hairy monster, and I love him.
Hi, Mom.
So, Skaven, Gargoyle, Jinn, or Grizzlord. You pick one of those. Rob O'Brien is going to tally it up. And we're going to give you guys just a couple minutes. So you get, let's do 3 minutes. 3 minutes of voting. So right at 7:30, yeah.
Will you ever let Stan sculpt a pair of socks?
I will not let Stan sculpt a pair of socks because that's boring.
That's right.
Chad Smith says, gotta be honest, I probably would just choose.
Oh.
Much voting is happening.
It is. It is Rob O'Brien's right, by the way. He's telling me what you guys said. I'm not going to go back and check his work, so he can just make it up, and that's perfectly fine. Because apparently, it's how we do elections in this country. So all the politics I'm going to say, that's it. According to some.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rugby Creation says, okay, I don't mind working, but I'm nowhere near Texas though. Alright, quality pizza. Rachel Powell says, I missed my notification, what are we voting on?
We are voting on what Stan is sculpting. And your options for Stan are Skaven, a rat man, a rat monster, a gargoyle, made of stone, you know what they are, a djinn, which is like a genie, and Grizzlord. All of those things Stan could sculpt.
Sons of Wayne says, spider socks does whatever a spider sock does.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Look, I wanted to be Spider-Man growing up until I found out the position was filled. And a little bit of me still wants to be Spider-Man.
I wanted to be Conan, Tarzan,
And it
and And a gorilla when I was young. But once I learned about the other guy, my shots was better.
Yep, Skin and Bones says Ratatouille. Skin and Bones, are you following Ratatouille, the musical, on TikTok? Pretty awesome.
I bet they're not.
Ezekiel says Rat Box for Stan.
All right. We are.
Ezekiel wants to know, what does Stan want to sculpt? What's he feeling?
Stan, what are you feeling? Of those 4 choices, what are you feeling? Rob O'Brien will weigh your decision with care.
So I'm definitely on the Skaven or the Grizzlor thing.
Yeah, Stan
Skaven
asks
or Drizzlor. Okay.
what Stan's vote. Ron Shep says Brew was a good sport the other night.
Did.
That's all there is. Very nice.
It's the dancing.
Skin and Bones says don't do much TikTok. Warmonger says I want Jonesy a guest sculptor. We do have a pet sculpting project.
Cheney, sit. Good boy. Boris. Bella. Cheney. It'll be easy, okay? Easy. Don't take my hand off.
Steen Reaper says finally made it to a live, first time in months.
Boris.
Langford Thor says all the beautiful puppies. David Quintana says it'll be good no matter which one is picked. Mom says, oh, those puppies. Rob O'Brien says the gin is a clear and massive.
Bella.
winner.
Whoa, okay.
All right.
And Cheney boy. There you
And Tina
go.
says, oh,
Good
so
noise. Good
Is
noise.
it gin?
Rob O'Brien is our
Alright.
caller.
It's gin.
Gin it is.
All right. So the good news is the voting at the stand, you can start.
All right.
You can start. You can pull yourself up some images and whatnot and get started.
Ernie
Now-
Miller says, hi, monsters, what are we sculpting today? Well,
I need someone else. I need someone to volunteer to tally my results. Who is going to volunteer to tally my results?
Joanne Crowley says, hello, everyone.
Realms was the first one after Rob O'Brien that I saw earlier.
Yep, Realm says I can. All right.
Realms, if you're going to do the tallying, okay? Here we go. Here's what you guys can vote on for me, all right? Voting begins right now. Neanderthal Monstar. Monstar has 2 different heads, and I'm going to pick which one I want to do. So Monstar has 2 different heads, and Monstar is a villain from a Silverhawks cartoon. Very interesting character, very strong. Hordak. Hordak, he's been on the list forever. And Pumpkinhead, one of my favorite monsters. Now, because I'm doing a face mask and not a full head, I'll only be doing the face portion, and then I would build out the rest of that with EVA foam. So I have a plan to finish this mask. I'm excited about all of these. Hordak is lovely. He's been on the list forever. Monstar, the ever-living. Wait, that's Mumra, the ever-living. But they're very similar. They're very similar. And then a Neanderthal, because I want to play one. I just think it'll be fun to be a caveman and mess with people.
Warmonger says there's always food in this shop. What's on the menu tonight?
We had delicious pizza. Tonight was a pizza night. So, but it's good pizza. So, there's no Chicago pizza, but it's good pizza. Those are the 4 choices for me. I have a feeling that I'll be doing Pumpkinhead, but I don't know. And it doesn't matter to me what I'm sculpting. Any of it's fine, I love it.
Rotten Monsters says I've been waiting to make it to one of these.
Question for you, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Custom Says I missed it when we voted.
Stan, tell them about your thought process. You're voting on what I am sculpting.
How far am I voting up there?
So what I'm looking for, I'm looking at references,
All the way around.
some real references. I don't want to go too out there, but I don't want to do something that's just a person that has a really long beard and maybe some pointed ears. So something in between.
That would be
Salty Scrunch says, do what you feel like doing, bro.
I'd like it, obvious. I think I want people to see it and know what it is, not have to guess, not have to ask a lot. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. Some of them don't have eyes. That's too bad.
David Deerling says, will the gin have a gin?
What did Jen have a what?
The G-I-N.
No, no. They won't have hands.
Jana Burkhardt says hello, everybody.
That's how
Hello,
much-
darling.
Cowboy says, I grew up next to Chicago pizza, it is not that great.
Whoa, ban him for 5 minutes. Who are my mods? Who are my mods? Ban him. What is he talking about, that guy?
Happen Mojo says the
By the way, when
Sands.
we're talking Chicago pizza, we're talking from Chicago.
Jennifer Pugh
From Chicago.
wants to know what's Rue working on, Francis?
Rue is tearing up a white trumpus. Push. They're all in there.
Happen Mojo says there's a really great gin from Magic the Gathering in Hard Arch.
Okay.
Salty Spread says do a chud.
A chud.
Cannibalistic
Listen,
humanoid
humanoid
underground
underground
draw. All
I
right.
did see that one. I did see the
Cowboy says
Magic the
Verona's has the
Gathering.
best pizza in Chicagoland. Cowboy says Verona's has the best pizza in Chicago.
We had Illuminati's and also mugs, and I was a big fan of both.
Mike Trzynowski says hi, guy.
Hello, Mike.
Warner says I'm East Coast, so I like it thin.
See, I'm not a fan of thin pizza. Like,
Not
I can just have, I can put tomato on crackers whenever I want.
Custom Corpse says, hey Alan, did you see my latest work?
I don't think that I have. What was it?
Cowboy says Illuminati's is good. Ken Zarich says the one from Atlantis. Realm says Pumpkinhead wins.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead wins. Okay. I figured that would be the case.
Ryan Harvey says you can do what I used to do. I'd get an art pass and draw 25 references of my ideas, and then the next 25 will be your ideas, because the first are usually from memories of other people's work.
What now?
Ron Harvey says you could do what I used to do. I'd get an art pass.
Hold on, what's an art pass?
I don't know.
Tell me what an art pass is.
Draw
Okay.
25 references.
Maybe I have an art pass. How do I know? If I don't have an art pass, but I get in trouble. Because I've been arting pretty heavily.
Oh, they meant an art pad.
Oh,
An art pad and draw 25 references of my ideas, and the next 25 will be your ideas, because the first are usually memories of other people's work.
gosh.
Okay.
Well, I need to be a little more targeted than that.
Happen to Mojo says Alan Illuminati's confirmed.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Cowboy says used to go to the city to play Battletech at Northfield Mall.
I played BattleTech at the Dave & Buster's when they had the BattleTech there in Chicago by the 1950s McDonald's. That was many, many years
I
ago.
played that at Exhilarama in Houston in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edson Juice says hi mom. Is your mom watching, or are you talking to my mom?
Or is he talking to Rue?
That is entirely possible. Ken Zarich says what's Alan sculpting?
I'm sculpting Pumpkinhead, who is well, okay, so I'm sculpting like an integer with the given value of Pumpkinhead. I'm not going to sculpt exactly Pumpkinhead. I'm going to do a very Pumpkinhead influenced sculpture so that I can make a full stilt costume out of it.
Pumpkinhead's custom.
And Rue, I want those about 1.5 inches apart. Not,
1.5 inches?
no closer than that, 1.5 inches apart.
Realm says why is that head split stand is sculpting on so white?
Because it's new.
So this is auspicious because this is my first time sculpting here, and this is the same head form Shannon used to sculpt her ghost.
That's right.
So this is the
Officially the guest sculptor.
officially the guest sculpting head.
Well, and I give it to Guess because that one is good. It's nice. And this one is deformed.
Janky.
So you have to do a little bit of extra work just to even it out.
Right.
And you don't have to do that.
Chad Smith says, sculpting question, I have a couple ideas to try, but curious, how would you do / suggest to sculpt fur for a werewolf?
Well, you make teardrop shapes and you lay them on like shingles. So you make like a long teardrop and then you smear the end and you put other ones over it. And then once that's done, I take a silicone tip tool and I draw my lines into those little tadpoles that you did, and that's how I like to do it.
And Zarish says, nice. Thank you, Sky Kohler, for sharing our Sylvie Studios Patreon link.
Whoa, yes,
Tell them what you
thank
put up on the Patreon today.
Oh, so I did my thought of the day, of course. because I do thoughts of the day most days of the week. I do have thoughtless Sundays, and I have learned that Tuesdays I'm too busy with YouTube Wednesday to get out a thought of the day.
Yeah.
So no Sundays and no Tuesdays. But also, I did the YouTube Wednesday video of that tree topper, and that of course is a 25-minute video or so, but I did a full like hour and 10-minute long. It's the full build, like there's no necessarily fast forwards or anything. So if there's something that you wanted to see in the build in detail, you'd be able to see it a lot better. Well, not better, but more of it and not sped up. If you had any questions.
Custom Corpse says the 1978 original Myers mask. I'm excited to do it because I want the original version. I did post some pictures on the page.
I did, you know what? I remember that. I do remember seeing that. Forgive me, I'm not going to get excited about Michael Myers.
That 8-inch?
Yes. Yeah.
Edson Juice says, oh, you went there. Shaking my head.
If there's something that I have learned in my life, people can't tell the difference between 8 inches and 10 inches. So you're fine.
Cobweb says, it was always fun to alpha strike someone in Battletech and blow their leg off watching them hop around.
Yes.
Warmonger says, Stan and Alan should be forced to sit uncomfortably close to one another while smoking.
Hey, what about the COVID? I mean, this is our social distancing table.
Chad Smith says, that was exactly what I was thinking in terms of sculpting wood there.
Yeah, but I think you're on the right track.
Angie Rogers says, hi, creepers.
Hi,
Hey,
Angie Rogers.
Jennifer Pugh says, the tree topper was awesome.
Hey, thanks.
Ron Sheff says, that tree topper is great.
What is that for? That's your...
That's for dumping those out.
Okay.
Gray Hawkins says, hello, y'all.
Hello, Gray.
Edson Juice says, yes, YouTube Wednesday was great.
Alexa, stop.
Custom Corpse says, I know, my feelings aren't hurt.
Yeah, you 100% have the right to do it. You 100% should be able to do whatever you want.
Susan and I says, I love the tree topper.
But my level of excitement will change based upon, you know. Now, I'll admit, Myers is a challenging sculpture because everybody knows exactly what he looks like. But the fact that I can just go out and buy a Michael Myers mask for 40 or 50 bucks, again, and to me, masks are tools. It's a tool to do my job of scaring people. So I don't look at them as art or collector's pieces. That's not how they are in my head. So I understand other people have a different thought process, but to me, if I can just buy the tool for 30 bucks, I'm going to go buy the tool.
Brian Oaks says, hi from Sheffield, UK.
Hi, Brian Oaks. Thanks for...
Ken Zarif says, Alan, the Krampus topper, would you take orders if someone wanted one made?
I guess we could do that. That's possible. Yes. However, let me point you towards Edge of the Map Productions, I think is what it's called. It is my friend Mike Square, who you guys might have seen on here every now and then. I think it's Edge of the Map Productions. And I think he makes them and sells them. If he does, then I will not do that. But if he doesn't, maybe I will. But look him up. His company is on Facebook, and I think he just recently did one. I don't know if he's going to go into production of them. If he is, buy one from him because they're awesome.
Enigma says, would latex work for an injection molding type mold, or is it too thick?
Okay. Injection molding implies that it's going to be under heat and pressure, and that's why you injection mold. You can injection mold foam latex that you then bake, but the answer is yes, it would work, but you don't need to. You don't need to do it for latex. There's just way easier ways to do it. It would have to be a stone mold, not a steel mold that most injection molding is about.
Stay tuned car care says, hey, hey.
Hello again, Stay Tuned Car Care. Good to see you back.
Cobweb says, yeah, it's just William Shatner. Ray Hawkins says, what are y'all doing tonight?
So me and Stan are both sculpting. Stan is sculpting a Jinn, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am sculpting Pumpkinhead.
And I'm reading
That is a monster from before you were born.
Ruth, make notes.
And Rue is doing all of the other work in the shop by himself.
Lisa Art says, good evening, pizza ordered. Love good old Wednesday night sculpting bingo.
Hooray! Yeah, we haven't done this in a while.
Thank you, Scott Colmark, for linking the new Sylvie Studios shirt. Ken Zarish says, okay, sounds good. Cobweb says, Etsy has some free toppers, I think.
Well, yeah, but I want to, if there's a way to throw support to Mike Square and off the edge of the map, then I want to.
Hero for the Bad says, hello all.
Who?
Hero for the Bad.
Oh, I like that name. That's great.
Great.
I would be a good hero for the bad.
Happen to Mojo says, only the first film is Shatner, isn't it? Didn't they slightly change the mask from 2 onwards? I'm guessing they have to pay Shatner or Paramount for likeness rights.
I don't care. It's still just a pretty blank white face, you know? Yeah, and boy, there's been like 20 different Halloween movies, something like that. And maybe it's a different mask in all of them, but the goal is that they all have to kind of look the same. So, yeah. And that's why I don't think I want to make one, because you're always going to get compared to the original.
Yeah.
And just because it's not the original, so if you put your take on it, it's not like the original. And then if you make it just like the original, it can only be as good as the original. There's a cap on how awesome it can get.
Right.
And if it's your design and out of your head, there's no cap on how awesome it can be. So there.
Custom Corpse says, I'll tell you my main reason for doing this mask is I've seen the original movie at the age of 16 and could never find a really great mask over many years. I promised myself one day I'll make that mask.
Okay. There you go.
Bob Adonza says, hey all. Courtney Boozer says, hello everyone, how is everybody?
I'm good. I'm normally pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't slept a lot because,
It's Wednesday.
yeah, because like I had an hour and 45 minutes of footage from making the tree topper. So it took me an hour and 45 minutes to make. Editing that, I started editing that I think about 8:30 p.m. and I finished editing it and getting it up on YouTube at about 3:30. And then I scheduled it for 9:30 just so I'm trying to fix the schedule with views, because if I post a video at 5 a.m. it says your video isn't doing well in its first 6 hours. Well, no one was awake, so that's why it wasn't doing well, you big old meanie.
Jennifer Pugh says, have you ever used a skull mold from Nightmare Makers? I just discovered them today and was wondering how big it was. My boyfriend's planning to do another haunt next year. So
I haven't used one from Nightmare Makers. They make good stuff. They're great molds. They're friends of mine, the nice folks who own the company, and they're local to me here in Texas. So he's wearing their shirt right now, Ruin. So yeah, I mean they're
good molds.
yeah, they're good molds. They certainly work, but like I make molds. If you don't make molds, then you should buy one if you want.
Courtney
But-
Boozer says, Pumpkinhead, yes.
Yeah, I'm doing Pumpkinhead.
Chad Smith says, what reference did Stan find to work from?
So I pulled
We don't
up show it to you.
Alexa, set a timer for half an hour.
And since I haven't really started yet, this is subject to change. So this is the Gin of Wishes, and this is a Magic the Gathering. So right now, that's where we're headed.
What's that Lucy? That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. So right now, that's where we're going.
Ooh, I got one.
And I am using
That does look cool.
old hard clay. So it's taken me a long time to even build up my foundation.
You want?
Stay tuned, Carter says, I remember Pumpkinhead.
I got soft stuff right here, and I have soft stuff over there.
Ezekiel says, love to hear some more info on Jinn.
Oh, so Jinns are kind of the Middle East's troll. I mean, you have in UK, there's trolls basically, and Now, very different power levels and different functionalities, but in the Middle East, kind of the big two that everybody knows about are ghouls, which are very different than English-based ghouls, and jinn. But jinn were people made from fire. And one of the stories is that God made them before he made, first there was darkness, and then there was fire, and from the darkness, God made the jinn. From the fire, God made the jinn. But then they had too much of their own free will, and like fire, they were kind of destructive, and they didn't play well with others. So then he abandoned the jinn, and he said, you will forever be unseen. So jinn are able to move about unseen because in God's mind, I guess, it was out of sight, out of mind. You won't cause nobody no trouble if you can't be seen, but they didn't go away. So jinn are very powerful, and the older they are, the more powerful they are. It's a real neat mythology thing.
Ryan Demon asks, how many sculpts has Stan done before?
Counting this one? One.
First, Shannon Hahn says, Shannon's making full in line. Yes.
Hooray!
Custom Forza says, I'm telling you, I really can't wait to do original monster masks.
Yeah. What is stopping you? Start doing it. And so here's what's awesome about the world, okay? You can make original masks, but you can make an original werewolf. Make your werewolf. People want to buy werewolf masks. There isn't a quintessential werewolf. See, a werewolf has all the popularity of Michael Myers, but you have some creative leeway. Make Krampus masks. Make a Krampus mask, because there's some guidelines on how they look, but you still have a lot of artistic leeway. Boy, I bet I have made, I don't know, like, I'm probably in the 400 or so Krampus masks that I've made. Now that's not different sculpts and molds, that is, maybe 20 different molds and lots of copies of them. So, but a Krampus is wonderful because you are able to do your own take on it. It is a known monster, but you have some leeway. And that's really nice.
Third Degree Terror says, full house, still be style.
Yeah, and you can also just make some crap up. One of the things that I really want to do, and I don't think I'll be able to do it this year for Transworld, is, and I can't even talk too much about it because no one has done it, no one has seen it, and it's going to be nuts. But my fear is that it is 2 steps past the line of current design. One step past the current and acceptable design is genius. 2 steps is, hey, you've gone too far. I'm no longer interested in that. So that's one of my fears, but I think it'll be embraced.
Jeremiah Dempsey says, what Tim Tam flavor would you not recommend?
Okay, so while I like all of them, I'm not as big on lychee fruit. Lychee fruit?
Lychee.
Lychee fruit. I'm not as big on that.
See, and I love lychee.
Yeah, I'm not no. It's all, see, fruit is like vegetables, so I don't want it, really.
Andrew Rogers says, I can't wait for more patron goodies. I joined the $20 tier, Future Collector, I believe.
That is awesome. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned, Car Repair says, get exact, then get sued. In terms of making other people's characters.
Well, yeah. Now, it's so rare that they pursue that, because a lot of times they consider you furthering their brand, and sometimes they don't even have ties to get a mask out there already. So it's very rarely enforced. I just think it's not fun. Now here I am making Pumpkinhead, but yeah, here I am making Pumpkinhead. I love Pumpkinhead. Could I buy one that's out there? Yes, but I get you. I want my hands on this one.
Cobweb says, better Michael Myers than a clown.
There we go.
Mike Murphy says, Shannon is making the best thing tonight.
Yes.
Baba Dawson says, today's video was so amazing. Thank you for all the time put into it.
Well, thank you so much.
Cobweb says, I post at 5 a.m.
Well, see, one of the things that when you post at 5 a.m., no one like, it's a slow start on the video. And I want the video to have a stronger start.
Rylan Chow says, is there any way for me to cut costs on making latex masks? For example, any cheap places to find plaster without spending a ton of shipping in California? Or ways to cast with latex without using ALO? ALO?
I don't know
Also-
what else.
I don't know, is also plaster of Paris is the only plaster. How do you mix it to put it on your sculpt to get the most detail?
So I don't. You can mix plaster of Paris with Portland cement. Mix those two 50-50 and you'll get a stronger version, but it's not amazing, and it's worth it just to get the other stuff. If you have, if you're able to buy plaster within a 4-hour drive, you just make a day of it and go get the plaster. It's really not that expensive. It's a little bit expensive if it's just a hobby, but it's expensive to start. It's not expensive to keep going. Also, if you want to cut your costs down, then one thing that I would recommend is just sculpt more. Sculpt, take pictures of that sculpture, tear it off and do another one. And then when you do commit your hard-earned dollars to making a mold of it, it's going to be a better mask. It's going to be a better sculpture. I think that we would have a lot more mask makers out there if their first couple of masks weren't turds.
Jennifer Pugh says, sweet shirt Ruth, thanks.
Honest.
Cobweb says, Member Makers molds are freaking awesome. I have 5.
Yeah, they're good stuff.
John C says, Moonstar of Limbo, give me the might, the muscle, the Minnesota Monstar.
Exactly.
Same voice actor as Mumra, Earl Hammond.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Lisa Hart says, that's awesome. Sounds like 2 cool masks.
This is the slowest I've ever been because this clay is so hard.
You said you wanted the toss-up.
I don't mind. It's good.
Oh my gosh.
We just watched a movie called The Arena, and it's a space movie, and a guy fist fights aliens, and in the arena there is a machine that makes them both the same strength, so take strength from one and give it to the other one. And in our arena, to slow me down, I have hard clay.
That's what it is.
The Haunt Dermot say hello.
Hello, Haunt Dermots.
Chad Smith says, I really like that stand.
Thank
David
you.
Quintana says, badass. Custom Corpses says, great. I'll have to watch your treetop video after your live stream video tonight. I'll have to look into how to sign up for your patron. Never used it.
We are learning a lot about Patreon also. There's probably going to be a link here eventually. I have requested that we do not spam the chat with links for all the stuff that I do. So I think we said like once every hour or half hour or something, but if you're hanging out with us, you'll see it pop up.
Lisa Art says, so how many likes to get Stan to dance?
I don't like,
Machete don't tweet,
I
stand by
probably-
dance.
I probably shouldn't say this. Stan's cheap, guys. Yeah, you'd be amazed at what Stan will do for like $9.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Cobweb says, Earl Hammond was awesome. Linecook Thor says, hit the like button, creepers.
Hooray!
Habit Mojo says, Jinn, fun fact, the head of Iran's nuclear program was an ardent believer in jinns, which were animism totems, which predates Islam, and thought that jinn's power could help nuclear fission.
okay.
Yes, I can see that actually, yes.
C. Dempsey asks, what's happening with Shanna's mask?
We molded it today. It was molded, and the mold looks like it came out beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Really look a little bit like Gunther Gable Williams walking around with that on her shoulder.
My favorite
Yeah.
mask.
Craven the
We're
Lord.
almost done.
Or you look like you should also wear assless chaps with that. Because it is a little bit fat, like, it looks like a stole, you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's all the lights. Get rid of the answer to that.
Stay tuned, Carker.
That was yesterday.
Wasn't Jinn lead to genies?
Yes, it was.
Custom Corpses says, so Stan, what are you working on tonight?
Say again?
Custom Corpses says, so Stan, what are you working on?
I am working on a gin that I got my inspiration from Magic the Gathering.
Anthony Pantano says, what I miss?
So here is,
So what?
no, we just started, it's fine. So one of the people always like who make masks and stuff, they're like, how can you be on for like 4 hours and not run out of stuff to talk about? And I'm like, well, that's the secret, because people ask the same questions over and over again. So really, I need 20 minutes of material that I just repeat in order to fill up these 4 hours. Because, you know, I'm going to say what I'm sculpting 40 times.
We'll say
you
it
know?
again right now, because Michael asked for that.
Oh, I am sculpting Pumpkinhead's face so that I can build the rest of Pumpkinhead later. So this will be a Pumpkinhead face. And then Stan is sculpting a djinn, which is like a genie type critter.
David Deerling says, that's really cool. I love the gin. I saw one with a quill through his nose.
Okay.
Warmonger says,
Oh,
John-
wait a minute.
I've seen that.
Is that a subtle put a bone through his nose or put a hook in his mouth?
No, so in this, in the reference picture, he's got a ring, a nose ring.
Okay, all right. But they're trying to slide them in by changing the object through the nose. I don't know how I feel about that.
Warmonger says, the doggos could be gins as they are very disruptive.
They are.
Billy
very
Chef says, good evening, Alan. Shocking Troopers fan. It's YouTube Wednesday.
So, I'm going to tell you a dog story, all right? This is a dog story in one part. I come out of the shop today, and Boris, my dog,
Oh, God.
has a large black chicken toy in his mouth that I have never seen before in my life. It looks new. A wonderful chicken toy. When you squeeze it, it makes the screaming noise like it's dying. It's wonderful. And Boris is playing with it and chewing on it like he just got it. And it looks new. And I called my wife and I said, did you buy them this chicken toy? And she said, no. And then I come in here and I asked Stacy and Rue, who are already here, did you give my dog a black chicken toy? I may not have used those words. And
Really confused us for a second.
and they were like, no. So I don't know if he ordered it from Amazon himself or like how it got here. There was no destroyed box. I don't know what happened.
Mystery. Jennifer Pugh says, I liked the gin from Supernatural. Well, I didn't because they were buttholes, but they looked cool.
Yeah, Jenner Buttons.
Ezekiel says, we liquid nails the horns today. What a mess with the kids, but damn, they look awesome. More photos to come.
And you know what? It puts such a good coating on them. It's a good treatment for the horns.
Blue River Lore says, happy holidays, folks and folks. Cat Swift says, that is a super teaser. Skin and Bone says, cease and desist letter, question mark.
From food.
Robert White says, hello, Alan and Shannon. Ezekiel says it's pronounced lychee.
Lychee.
This is
lychee.
Grumpy Gracious says, now that I got in a juice to this Krampus stuff, and I've seen some of the traditional wooden masks, they're incredibly, unbelievably talented carving. Went into a lot of them.
You know what? I can't sculpt that good in clay as those guys carve in wood. It's ridiculous. And that's introduced in the juice.
Yeah, I figured. Billy Jack says, starting the like drive for another dance. Smash the likes.
No, we're not. This is not a dancing night. This is a masking night. I get to
says,
sculpt.
the white chocolate and sea salt and salt caramel were the best of hands.
Ooh.
Chad Smith says, Alan, we can keep a secret in regards to whatever you're going to do at Transworld.
Oh, no, you can't.
Ronnie Pope says, love the original Tim Tams. Captain Emoji says, I know your madness design. Clowns with shrimp in their mouth and bones in there.
That's right. Apparently, people are mad for it.
Ezekiel says, Australian government ruled out any international travel till mid-March, so no Transworld for me in 2021. Boo.
Wow.
Line Cook Door says, Tim Tams sound good. YouTube, Cobweb says, YouTube won't change me. 5 a.m. it is.
There you go. You enjoy.
Custom Works says, doing original stuff is way more fun for sure, no restrictions. Gray Hawkins says, I gotta go now, I have schoolwork, I'm almost caught up. Good.
Gray, this is what we're doing. You can't leave. Why would you leave, Gray? This is how adults party, by the way. This is it. This is what you have to look forward to.
Alamatra Art
Yeah.
says, what's up, everybody?
Our exciting part of the night is when the dogs come in.
Warmonger says, the way craft is flowing in the States, I really doubt Transworld would be happening. Angie Rogers says, found some Bigfoot sleep pants on Amazon. Hey.
Hey.
Celeste Kitty says, hey creepers, I'm making fast Jamaican curry for dinner, but I want to make the day long curry tomorrow. Any tips are welcome. I'm doing lentils for the morning already.
Wrong channel.
Go forth and be delicious.
Cobweb and Candlestick Super Troopers, let's play repeater. That used to be my job.
Yeah.
Was
Shannon
professionally playing repeater.
Shannon makes
Oh,
an
nobody's heard me do
excellent
that in a long time.
chicken
Casey.
tikka masala. She makes an excellent chicken tikka masala, but I don't think she's made a curry. Maybe she has, and she just knew I wouldn't like it and didn't give it to me.
It's called this tikka
Because
masala.
there are times when she makes Shannon dinner and Alan dinner, and they're separate events. Yeah.
The Hunt Germans say awesome lottery picks today.
Yes, I'm very happy.
Capso says, so the other night Rue was going to dance in boots and a hat, and tonight Alan was talking about him being an asshole chap. Poor Rue.
Well, just he was wearing like a stole. It was lovely. He was shining. He had a glow.
Listen,
Chad Smith says, excuse me, no. Excuse me? No? Copy with the Candlestick license or registration meow.
Now, see here.
look at me.
Not so funny meow, is it?
I don't get any of these references.
Scott Coiner says, hello, Alan and crew.
Hi, Scott Coiner.
Custom Corpse says, Alan, I'm going to have to wait until spring, I think, to make the trip to see you guys. COVID is really bad up here right now.
I hear you. I think it's bad everywhere. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
That's what we do now.
David says, the quill is through the bridge of the nose.
Well, yeah. My clown is different.
Chad Smith says, if I look all nimbly bimbly, do you see me eating mice?
See me climbing trees, hopping from limb to
Limb,
limb.
all nimbly bimbly. Rock Monster says, can you please give me advice on doing wrinkles by the eyes?
That one's just.
I have a creature with 13 eyes spread all over the place.
Wow. Okay, so you're going to have to do your eyes a little bit differently. When I throw an eye on here, someone remind me. Because right now I'm just putting crap on the face. I'm just covering everything up. So, yes. I will show you.
Custom Corpse says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
And you have to figure out, are you doing right eyes and left eyes based on one side of the face? Or are you doing a universal eye that is both a right eye and a left eye? Because the right eye and the left eye are structured very differently. The eyeball is the same, but the case it comes in is different. And that's a big deal.
Blue River Lore says, Eve, my pup, borrows toys from Minnie, the next door pup.
Stacy, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Grab one of those fat tongue depressors,
Okay.
and I want you to write on it. Frankenstein, the monster from hell.
Frankenstein, the monster from hell.
Because Rue right now is putting hair on a white Krampus. And he has it haired all down here, and it's just like, he's got a skullet, kind of. And it reminded me of my favorite version of Frankenstein, where he's just like a big gorilla. And it's Frankenstein versus the monster from hell. He looks wonderful. And I think it's David Prowse who played him.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace.
Frankenstein, the monster from hell.
Yes, and I love that look, but he's got a bald head, and his cap is stitched on. It's a beautiful design, in my opinion.
Going on the stick.
And that concept, that look, is why I like George the Animal Steele as a professional wrestler, because he looked a lot like him.
Joe Reese says, where's the best place to get hair to hair a Myers mask?
The woolery, it is the woolery, and there is a certain kind of wool that the Myers kids get, and it's good stuff.
David Quintana says, the dreaded black chicken toy. It's a sign of becoming a popsicle.
Well, we are very confused as to where this came from. I don't know if a neighbor gave it to him over the fence or what, but it was a new chicken, and they're happy to have it, but I don't know how they got it.
Ezekiel says, the chili Tim Tams are not for me. I won't be getting them again. Melissa Cameron says, did you make a video about how to make a mold of your face?
No, well, yes. If you look up Alan Hopp's Headcast, you will find a video, but it's on Yard Hunter Steve's channel, I think. It's not on my channel.
Right house.
But also,
Go ahead.
go to Binny Mold Supply, and they have lots of head casting videos on there. Excellent stuff. Really good channel. Biddy Mold Supply, Brick in the Yard Mold Supply, wonderful people, wonderful channel.
Greyhouse Hunt says Forrest had ALEXA order the chicken.
It's possible.
Meet the Creepa says, hey Alan, just finished my first pig sculpt mold and now I'm casting.
Awesome.
I got a pint of mead and I'm ready to rock.
Hooray. That's great.
Grumpy Creation says, yeah, I'm lazy, I use voice text and it screws up all the time.
Pick it up, kids.
Celeste Kitty says, hey, he said cooking counts as making stuff, Stan.
It does. Cooking does count as making
does.
stuff.
Chad Smith says, we really should have took video of the live cast we did.
You know what? Who has time?
I took
If
pictures.
you want something to take 3 times longer, video it.
Yep.
That's how that works. I'm sure that Cobwebs can agree with me on that. It just takes so much longer when you're going to video something. There's a lot of things that I should video, and I don't because I just want to get it done.
Ryland Chow says, are you sculpting the pumpkin head or flesh colored one?
I'm sculpting Pumpkinhead over here.
Jana Burkhardt says, Stan cooks more than I do.
I do a lot of
I
cooking.
believe that.
Rotten Monster says they are universal eyes and I appreciate you helping me.
Wait a minute. Her last name is Burkhardt up there now?
Yes,
She changed her last name on YouTube.
she
Yeah.
did.
It's official.
Yeah, now
After 10 years.
you're YouTube
now,
official.
now I know that she thinks it's going to work out. You know?
Worried they're leaving that back door open.
Right.
Just in case. Just in case.
Okay, so Rotten Monster says they're universal eyes and things for nothing.
Okay. Yes. I'm going to do it right and the left, but it's up to you if you replicate the right side of the eye or the left side of the eye. And I now have to go to my computer so that I can look up some Pumpkinhead reference. Because, yeah.
Warmonger says young Frankenstein. Putting on the red. Just
Now.
really smaller bits.
Gotta leave this free.
Yeah.
Okay. And do one more, just like this.
Mhm.
And then this way. Yep.
Captain Mojo says that's a hammer Frankenstein, isn't it? The bald muscle.
Yes, it
tall
is.
shirt one.
Yes, it is.
Greg Watkins says, has there been a poll of Shannon's ghost yet?
No, we just molded it today. What do you want from me?
I've almost got it
Play in the
totally
mold.
cleaned out. Thank you, Scott Colehart, for sharing the Woolery link. Mass Slasher says, hey, Alan, Doom Shrooms, shipped today. Estimated delivery is Monday.
That's amazing. I love that. Thank you.
Damn it.
It's gonna be in my head all night.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it, bro.
That's gonna be a thing.
Ba-da-da-da. Super duper!
Stay tuned. Car Care says, can you guys use a small clay oven or another way to warm up and make soft?
Well, no. This is water-based clay, so this doesn't soften when you heat it up. If you heat it up, this will become pottery. So we want to avoid that. Yeah, how to do that? Yeah. Yes. Words. And now, what I want is over here.
Do you want to put that picture up on the big one and I can read comments on the small one?
No. I'll just look over.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
Okay. Most parents says, okay, thank you. Mass Slasher says, sorry, I can't stick around. I'm out Christmas shopping, aka buying things for myself.
Hooray!
Thank you, Scott
That's kind
Colehart,
of
for the
Christmas
Biddy
shopping.
Mold Supply link.
At least you know you're going to get what you want and it'll fit.
Munster of Herman says that Frankenstein looks like a crossbred ape / Sasquatch in Frankenstein.
So no wonder I love it.
This is our front face.
David Pajama says a Franken ape squatch.
Feed my Frankensquatch.
Ezekiel says, looking good so far, Stan.
Thank you.
Angie Rogers says, I've been doing the zombie snail at work with the crazy sound. Can't wait to get the t-shirt. Warmonger says, we need a Krampus Frankenstein.
Krampus.
And I have time normally while I'm waiting. I have to, so my plan is once I start uploading to YouTube, I work on the thumbnail. But then I have time once I get the thumbnail done because that video takes a long time to upload. So that's when I did the other t-shirt That is, because someone commented,
Yeah.
you know, hey, if this guy would, is there a T-shirt with this guy's face saying, hey, it's YouTube Wednesday? Because I want one, and so I made one.
More Mars Frankenstein, right? David says the EVA Krampus is showing in the background. Didn't you want to keep that a surprise?
Damn it.
Well, it's not right now.
Camera.
Yeah.
Mike Thor says, damn you, rude. Now I got that song stuck in my head.
I didn't start it.
Which song?
Putting on there.
Who started it?
Somebody in the comments.
I thought you started it.
I didn't start it.
Anthony Pantano says, isn't it technically Frankenstein's monster?
No,
It is a Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. So, all right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Buckle up.
Start to
Ready.
show. It's happening.
It is. It is knowledge to know that Frankenstein was the doctor and the monster was not named. It is wisdom to know that Frankenstein is the monster. Because Dr. Frankenstein didn't go through 12 years of medical school to not be called doctor, okay? That's not how they do it. He wants to be called Dr. Frankenstein. So that means that just Frankenstein is up for grabs. And when you buy 99% of Frankenstein movies, there's a picture of the monster on the cover, and it says Frankenstein. There's no picture of the doctor. It doesn't say Dr. Frankenstein.
Ain't no picture.
It just says Frankenstein. And they would have called it Dr. Frankenstein if they wanted it to be about Dr. Frankenstein. But also, Frankenstein is the last. Hold your roll, okay?
I didn't say anything.
Dr. Frankenstein, that's his last name. So, because the monster was created by him, he's the only parent on the birth certificate, his last name is Frankenstein. So they're both named Frankenstein.
Boom.
There.
Think about it.
Mic drop.
I'm just saying, they don't call the movie Dr. Frankenstein. They call it Frankenstein, and it's Frankenstein. Yeah.
Ken Zuri says, who likes Dave Matthews Band?
Where did that come from?
Presumably people who like Dave Matthews.
Ken Zarish, I'm going to ask you a slightly personal question. Is marijuana legal in your state?
Robbie Pope says, did Alexis get you everything you needed for the I Survived Monster Camp t-shirt?
Yes. And I can get that up here shortly. I was going to kind of wait until I had another monster camp.
Chad Smith says, I don't know if you saw the post on the Creeper page, but I finally found a picture of a werewolf mask. I think it may have been a top snow mask.
Awesome.
Jeremiah Dempsey says, instead of elf on a shelf, will you do Beast Bay on a shelf and move them around the shop in the background for live videos?
That's. You know what? I might actually make a Krampus in the corner.
Jennifer Pugh says, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Chad Smith says, if you want to argue with him being called Frankenstein, then go by what he was called in the book, Prometheus.
Well, wasn't it Adam, the new Prometheus is what he was called?
Ezekiel says, my son and I were doing the Krampus horns yesterday. My son kept making up cool backstories for each Krampus. One was about a Krampus that had been caught and his horns clipped. So,
I love that. I love that.
That's a cool idea. That's wicked cool.
Warmonger says, in reality, Dr. Frankenstein was the true monster for creating artificial life.
Well, and then just abandoning it. Like, you're scary. I'm done with you. I must leave the room.
There.
Happy Moses says, my favorite film Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster for the pedantic, is from Frankenstein Unbound. It's just so weird looking. Also, Raul Julia is the best out of Frankenstein. Raul
Alexa,
Julia
stop.
is just the best.
Rue, that's your 30 minutes. Alexa, add Frankenstein Unbound to my shopping list.
Frankenstein Unbound added.
David Quintana says, this is what I would be doing if I were there. I like the relaxed environment, just we're all working together.
These are some of my favorite nights.
Ken Zarish says, yes it is, but I don't smoke no more.
I'm just saying. Sometimes you come out of left field a little bit.
John C. says, Alan, I have been giving the same Frankenstein explanation for 25 years.
Yeah.
Have it noticed as residual effects? Guess it depends on when he starts.
He also said anymore, like there was a big incident. You know?
People got called.
Not,
Jack 269 says hi.
yeah, not since the goat happened. Wait, what? Yeah.
Steam Reaper says you are using wet clay, right?
Yes. And you can do a dash.
Okay.
Both sides.
Melissa Cameron says, do you ever remember watching Hilarious House of Frankenstein? Of Frankenstein?
Not that I. Wait a minute.
Hilarious House of Frankenstein.
Was that on the same one as the Duck Dracula? What was his name?
Count Duckula.
Count Duckula. It was like they had that animation style that, as a child, I thought looked cheap. Yeah.
Celeste Kitty says, that squad comment reminded me I have a vid to post for you on the Facebook page, John.
Hooray.
Angie Rogers says, my niece is real sick. I showed her my Grinch figure to cheer her up, and she loved it.
That's great. You know what? That's one of the cool things about art, is that it can absolutely change people's moods and change people's mentalities.
Blue River Lore says, now I have Frankenstein unbound on my shopping list.
I want to give a shout out and a congratulations to Stacy for finally saying Blue River Lore's
I've said it
name
right
correctly.
like 3 times tonight. I'm feeling very pleased with myself.
I was going to see if it took, so I was waiting.
Chad Smith says, I would love to sculpt Frankenstein, but I want it to be totally different. Problem is, the original is really hard to improve on.
They did a good job. Yeah.
Melissa Cameron says, Hilarious House of Frankenstein was filmed in my home city.
Okay. I thought it was a cartoon, so I guess I haven't seen it. All right, so you have to understand, as a young man, I was not into things that were monsters and funny, because I didn't want my monsters diluted. I wanted only scary monsters. How could you do this to monsters? Yeah.
Anthony Cantano says, I've never heard it explained that way. I've always heard by people who try to fix the monster's name. So thanks for clearing it up better. I figured you'd know more than most people.
I have been Frankensteining my whole life.
Ezekiel says, next mask for me is going to be Zombie Krampus.
Hooray!
Happen and Mojo says, Dracula, best theme song ever.
I don't know, man. Darkwing Duck had a really good theme song.
That's
If you're
true.
talking about duck theme songs, which I know like 5, amazingly enough.
Yeah.
I know about 5 duck theme songs,
For real.
but Darkwing Duck is hands down the best. Like, I can't remember Count Duckula's.
Blue River Lore is laughing.
Is there people shouting like, Count Duckula? Is that part of it?
No idea.
She's like, no.
Because you were a wee baby.
Yeah, but a small thing. Melissa Cameron says, had Vincent Price in it, and it was live.
Wow, awesome.
Andy Iyer says, my girlfriend thinks what I have so far on my angel is creepy. She was going to barricade her bedroom door.
I did see the angel progress, and I think it's looking good.
Josh Newman says, what you make?
There is a bit of a uncanny valley effect where it's human-like figures and people kind
I'm
of
missing an end.
get nervous about them. What do I make? Is I'm making, this is going to be a Pumpkinhead type critter. This will be like Pumpkinhead's cousin,
Gourd head.
Gourdmelon.
Gourd milk.
Lord Melody.
Gourdmelon.
I see monsters. Because I like that explanation for Frankenstein. Angie Rogers says, I love the movie Young Frankenstein.
Yes. So when we did Terra del Monstrum, which is a haunted house that is all black and white movies, we played a movie pretty much every night because you went through the black and white movie screen, and 99% of them were royalty-free movies that were just like, the Killer Shrews and that kind of stuff, because we had the rights. Hey, buy the rights.
How bizarre.
But yeah, but on the last night, we would always play Young Frankenstein. It was black and white, and it was fun. It was a good tradition.
Yes. Grumpy says, speaking of Frankenstein, I watched Frankenstein's Army. The movie was really dumb, but it had some cool monsters.
I love Frankenstein. Through, straight across. Don't angle it, straight.
Straight?
Yeah, like that bottom one has a little bit of an angle, straighten that out. Why? Because when it's straight, you don't see that line of, if you angle it, you'll see it. But if you do them straight, then there's just that little dot to see, and it all gets covered up.
Happen Emoji says Frankenstein is like a Disney Channel movie.
Okay.
Anthony Fantano says, let's get dangerous.
When you're in trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck.
Just,
John C. says, my old boss, who never made or worked at anything, would just walk into the room and say, you shall be able to sculpt 1 mask per hour, so I expect 9 complete masks each per day.
Dude, I want to work there. Like that's my dream job. Yes, I could make a crappy mask in an hour. Like, you know, I want this to be a little better, but yeah, like I would love that job. That's what I want to do.
Andy Iyer says, I got sleeves on her tonight, wanted to get the wings, but having coordination issues.
Gotcha.
Chad says, theme songs are dangerous. I've had the Elvis World theme song stuck in my head for 2 weeks.
Luckily,
I
I
have
have
kids.
never heard that.
Youngest is 15. I have no idea why it is stuck in my head.
I don't have any children because I made lots of good life choices.
Melissa Cameron says, do you have a favorite cheesy horror film?
I love so many cheesy horror films.
That's a really long list.
Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say top 3.
yeah. I mean,
narrow it down.
there's so many wonderful, terrible horror films that are out there. Boy, can I name one right now? No.
I think what like
Platypus.
No.
No.
I don't enjoy that at all.
No.
Like, that is a fate that no one should watch that movie.
I think like Monster Squad. That's a cheesy.
That is not cheesy. You take. Somebody ban her for
Somebody
5
ban
minutes.
her.
Yeah.
One of my moderators, silence her for 5 minutes, please.
I'll just sit here quietly.
And then they just
Stacy
stop
in
reading
timeout.
then they just stop reading the comments. We don't know what happened.
Happy Mojo says Dracula has the creepy intro with Vincent Price-like narrator that drops into a disco melody. Agreed. Darkwing Duck theme is great. Also DuckTales. Mighty Duck theme sucked though. Christopher Lizette says, have you seen the silent film Frankenstein?
Yes. Well, okay. What you probably mean is you probably mean the Edison Films Frankenstein, is what you probably mean. And it is in many ways a lost film because there's not all of it, but they have pieced together a version of it. Yes, I have seen the pieced together hopeful version of Edison's Frankenstein. I'm willing to bet that it is a shorter runtime than the original, but I have seen a version of that.
Ezekiel says, I meant to ask, can you thin out liquid nails?
I have often wondered that myself. I have never tried it or done it, but I have wondered if you can. And I'm sure you can. I have heard that you can, but I have never done it.
Happen Emoji says, I believe the Edison Frankenstein thought lost for years is on YouTube.
That is the edited version of it that they pieced together from other things.
Felicia, I blame you for this. It's la 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 elbows world.
See, I don't recognize it at all. So
I also had kids.
gross.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad you recovered.
Blue River Lore says Plan 9 from outer space.
Okay.
Maybe
Hi,
very-
Grace.
Okay.
Melissa Cameron says the Attack of Killer Tomatoes.
And you know what? The original Island of Dr. Moreau with Bela Lugosi as the Sayer of the Law
Yeah.
and Claude Rains. No,
As the Invisible Man.
no. He was a big boy, and he also plays a hunchback.
Oh, okay.
He was kind of a portly man.
Rathbone.
No. Charles Lawton.
Nice.
Charles Lawton played the doctor in that, and it was I love that movie. I kind of had the hots for the Tiger Girl. I'm sure you're all a Panther Woman. I'm sure you're all shocked.
Melissa Cameron says Attack of Killer Tomatoes. Chad Smith says Blasphemy. Scott Kohler said, okay, he's gonna ban me.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Chad Smith says, thanks, killing is crazy. Ron Shep says, horrible monster movie, thanks, killing. Kalisha, stuck tails. Ooh.
The danger, right? There's a stranger.
Out to find you. What did you just grab onto something?
Ooh.
Tails of daring do bad and good
So
luck
judgy
tails.
right now.
Ooh. Listen, that was my demographic.
Oh, no.
No. Kalisha says, Scream, terrible horror movie. Lisa Arndt says, one of my favorite cheesy TV movies, Gargoyles.
See, I wasn't as big on Scream because
Did it bite you?
it's just people killing people. So,
Did you just smack yourself in the face with that?
Worse.
Did you just cut your finger?
No,
What'd you do?
I'm glad that wasn't on camera.
Good job.
I don't see any blood dripping.
What?
I was gonna say.
so tell us what you did, Rue. We just heard a noise and Rue kind of grunt screamed. And then, yeah, we don't know what happened to Rue.
But he's got 2 marks on his
Look at
face. Like,
Stringy scissors in my hand. Pick them up, thumb slip. They flint and cock.
Nice.
nice.
Turns out silicone's a little slippery on your
Yeah.
hands.
Michael Lassiter says, Alan, get the duct tape, Steve's out of control.
She-
Joke's on you.
She did. Yeah.
Chewed my way out of worse than that. Ezekiel says, Isley says, hi, Stacy. Hi, Isley. I'm not.
Now you are.
Hi, Isley. Warmonger says, Killer Clowns from Outer Space was a good cheesy flick. Stay tuned.
So out of left field.
Stay tuned, Car Care says, didn't a lot of people die making Dr. Moreau?
Yeah. It was the 30s. Come on now.
They didn't have the same rules.
Yeah.
HBK Styles, butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
Did he type that whole thing?
Yep.
Wow.
Chad Smith was classic. Chris Darrow Elrod says, good evening from Arkansas. How's everyone tonight?
I am great.
John C. says, Rude, does the leather chair feel cold since you have Vassal chaps on?
Do I look like I have Ass's chaps on?
So many chaps.
Thank you, Scott Colhart, for sharing the Sculpting Studios merch link
Hi.
for Teespring. Horror Beauty says, ooh, who is the mysterious guest?
Well, the mysterious guest is Stan.
I've been here before.
It's Stan. Yeah, Stan's new.
Like, this is my first night. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Big Geek Studios says, hello, everybody.
Before it was just Stan's shop socks. Now Stan is allowed to shop.
That's right.
Ron Shep says, can we get a view of Stan's progress? Yes, I will write it.
Yes.
So I'm blocking stuff out. So this is going to be a really big, wide open mouth that I have no idea how I'm going to get to. But there's a start. Go in there.
Just scoot your back so we can see both of you.
To me, right now, on the tiny screen,
Yeah.
me who needs glasses, it looks like he's gonna rob a train, because it looks like he's got a kerchief on, like from here down.
You know, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be like teeth and fun stuff.
Now do the very front edge, where you cut the band off.
Mm-hmm.
Now do that.
Yeah.
So this is,
Just glue it, half an
I'll
inch
show
to
you
the back.
guys the reference. So, oh, here.
Horror Beauty's asking, what's being sculpted?
So that's the reference I'm using.
A djinn, he's sculpting a djinn, and I am sculpting a pumpkin head-like creature called gourd cranium.
Gourd cranium.
Horror Beauty says, reading Rainbow. I remember the song too. Urban Molnar says, first Friday the 13th is very cheesy with Kevin Bacon.
Okay. Cheesy horror movie that I love. Leprechaun in the Hood. Leprechaun in the Hood is one of my favorite terrible horror movies. And it might even be Leprechaun in the Hood 2. Like not even, yeah, it's Leprechaun in the Hood 2.
Is
And
that the one where he's in like one scene?
The whole movie.
he said he would only, he said, I'm only going to do it if you pay me 5 times as much. I'm only going to be in costume and makeup for 1 day. And I demand backup dancers. I demand Leprechaun-themed backup dancers as part of my contract in the movie. And
They're
they
like,
said
done.
yes
Done.
to all of it, and he was
Done and
pissed
done.
because he really didn't want to do another Leprechaun movie.
Ezekiel says Stan's not mysterious. Gordon Reed says Stan is not too mysterious, but hi, yes, Stan.
Yeah.
Zombie Frank says I had a crush on LeVar. Listen, so did I. I still have a crush on LeVar.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. He was Geordie.
Oh yeah,
You know, he did a lot.
Jordy. Oh, he's still in my
I
heart.
mean, he did a lot.
Chad Smith says, I'm surprised this is the first time Stan has sculpted. Hasn't he been to several monster camps?
I make him work. Like, he doesn't.
Yeah, let me break it down how Monster Camp works for Stan. It's not what you think.
I got blaster calluses.
No, at Monster Camp, I support. So I'm making plaster. I'm helping people get parts they need. I'm working.
Yeah.
So it's not. I'm not sitting down sculpting. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's once we get going, I am truly support element.
Oh, guys, I think
So-
it's clay.
Yeah, don't drop clay on the ground. They will eat the heck out of it,
Hey.
like it's potato chips.
So yes, I've been to a lot of monster camps, 2 Compass Labs, airbrush class.
Yeah.
And you may have seen me in the back of all of those classes, making plastic.
Rylan Chow asks, what do you think about rubber gorilla masks?
I love him. Excellent sculptor, really good work, pretty original designs, and that's another artist where you can look at it and you can see their style. I know it's a rubber gorilla mask before you tell me, even if I've never seen it before, because I know their style.
Big Ink Studio says all chaps are buttless, otherwise they'd just be pants.
That's true.
True.
That's
Jeremiah Dempsey says, good night, everyone.
Good night.
John C. says, the mysterious guest looks vaguely familiar. I have to see the socks. Go make socks? Ron Chef says, are you going to sculpt a symbol in the head or add it later on the mask with paint?
Spider-Man.
Horror Beauty says
I'm
yes.
gonna suggest we do it later with paint.
Yeah.
Horror Beauty says, yes, gotta get a Stan sock update shot for sure.
So we got tonight's the Spider-Man song.
Yep.
Spider sucks.
Spider song.
Mike says, my favorite horror movie, The Fog, the old school horror.
Yeah. Now see, they didn't ask favorite horror movie. They asked favorite cheesy horror movie.
Cheesy.
Like, I don't want people thinking that my favorite horror movie is Leprechaun in the Hood 2. But since you said cheesy, it ain't easy. Moving on up.
Zombie Frank says, LeVar was in the midnight hour. That's awesome. Mike says, I ordered Jack Frost over the weekend. What order should be on the wall? I'm very excited. Plus, you're autographing it for me. I'm honored.
Your order is on the wall. That was poured up today.
John C. says, Stan, I saw black socks with still these green spiders on them today, and I thought of you.
Nice.
Very nice.
Happen Mojo says, I'm curious to Alan's views on low-budget films. Is he a more Roger Corman or Troma fan? Corman sees himself as a filmmaker with low budgets. Troma embraces the schlock.
I prefer Roger Corman. I enjoy those movies more. Troma is that tongue-in-cheek camp that I take my monsters very seriously. So while Roger Corman didn't have big budgets, he tends to take his monsters kind of seriously. It may offend him to hear me say that, but
Are we buffering?
I don't feel like I'm buffering.
Rotten Monster says, what would you say your style is?
Heavy brow, big cheekbones, and underbite.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of what I do.
Sorry about the buffering, guys.
When I'm left to my own devices.
Janet Burkhardt says, sexy stock stand. Stand.
You know, what's funny is she saw these socks before everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
She knew what was happening.
She lets you go out in public like that.
She doesn't even leave the house.
Look at Rob
Who was I?
Uh,
I was talking with you guys the other day, and it was the difference between the way men and women think
Yeah.
is that if a dad sees a kid going outside in 30-degree weather with no coat, he says, people are going to think you're an idiot because you don't have a coat. But if the mom sees the kid going out in a t-shirt in 30-degree weather, She says, people are gonna think I'm a bad mother because you don't have a coat.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know why that's so different, but we very much think differently in that regard.
Lewis McLand says, hello, here I am, late again.
Hi!
Blue River Lore says, BRB, my wine keeps evaporating.
We are waiving the late fee, so you don't have to pay a fee even though you showed up late today. It's fine.
Ryland Chow says, can you sculpt something like a rubber gorilla mask? I think they're pretty cool.
It's possible, but why not let Rubber Gorilla sculpt Rubber Gorilla masks? And I can sculpt Alan Hops masks. I think that's cool too.
Ron Sheps previously asked if you were going to add a symbol on the forehead or if you're going to add it in later with paint.
We're
so
gonna
he got
paint,
kicked
we're
off.
gonna paint it.
Yeah, we answered it.
Yeah, he said that to answer my question, I got kicked off for a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
he's got to pay attention. Yeah.
Chad Smith says, what's everybody's favorite guilty pleasure film?
Lady Hawk. Lady Hawk and In the Name of the Rose. That's good too.
In the Name of the Rose is
Yeah.
Under the Tuscan Sun.
Gross.
Kingdom of Heaven. I'll just rewatch that.
That's a fun movie.
good. Beyond the Law. Over and over and over again.
Ken Zari says, cheesy movie, Gingerbread Man.
Also, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
I can
just watch Roadhouse the
I
other
can
day.
just watch Roadhouse all the time.
Have you watched the riff tracks on Roadhouse?
No.
Because I feel like that would, Shannon.
Ban her for 5 minutes.
Shannon likes Mystery Science Theater 3000, right? You could get her in on Roadhouse with the riff tracks.
I think that she would enjoy watching Roadhouse with me. Can you put Pumpkinhead back on the screen? I actually
Yes.
would like that reference. You can put up a different headshot of Pumpkinhead if you'd like. So I get a different angle.
I remember how to get your
Not a good bang breaker.
It is certainly adequate for when we airbrush the hairline. That'll be fun.
Okay.
Yep. Headphone.
Yep. Circle.
There's a pattern. Follow the pattern.
Wouldn't that just lay down? Just
No.
saying.
How about that one?
Make it big.
Maybe.
Make it the whole screen.
Oh, that's true. Too good.
Yeah, that's
Maybe not use that one.
ungood.
I'm good. Okay.
My eyeballs are too small. Like, maybe not. Like, not for Durkin head over there.
Sure.
This, I'm having some trouble with Pumpkinhead. But also, I don't have like good references in front of me. Reference is key, man. It helps inform your decisions early, and then you can make good choices. If you don't have good reference, it's harder to make good choices.
Good.
That looks like it's from Pumpkinhead 5. Bloodwings or 3? Yeah.
Hard to say.
It's not an original.
Oh, you want OG?
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Oh,
There were some modifications and simplifications of the suit.
Ron Chet says, I can't pay attention if YouTube kicks me off.
Hey, listen,
Big
we
Ink-
all have our challenges. I'm just saying.
Big Ink Studio says, finally watched Vikings versus Krampus. Your description was accurate.
Yeah. It was an effective movie, and Krampus looked better than he should have.
Grumpy Creation says, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
That is a fun movie.
Shaun of the Dead.
I still don't know how
I
I feel
love
about
Shaun
of the Dead.
blonde
I love
dreadlock Krampus.
Rylan Chow says, have you ever tried oil-based clay, for example, monster clay?
Yes, I have. But there's no way I'd have a sculpt done in 3 hours. It would take a longer time.
Good night, Michael Lassiter. Thank you, Scott Collard, for sharing our shop link. Shannon says, I've seen Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, Roadhouse is a good movie.
Abbott Mojo says, Rift Tracks Roadhouse, both versions are fantastic. I'm telling you, it's really funny.
Wait, there's more than one version?
Yeah. Ezekiel says, the rest of the facilities crew should answer the faith movie questions too.
Rue, favorite cheesy? There you go. What?
Is that the right one?
That'll work. Go about a quarter inside of that.
Inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite cheesy horror movie?
Yeah.
Dracula Dead and Loving.
Okay.
Transylvania 6 5000 is in that same vein, kind of. Yeah.
Cheesy.
I did the thing. Look at me, I'm drinking wine and eating chicken. From Dracula Dead and Loving.
I don't know. I need to think more.
Riot Demon says you're reading the Krampus as being a tease in the background.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Ken Zarish says Dust Till Dawn.
That's not cheesy, that movie's masterful.
That's not cheese.
Ezekiel says Roadhouse. Jeff Healy, yeah.
Why Jeff Healy?
As opposed to the one who can see? Why did you feel the need to yell blind Jeff Healy?
No, I mean, he always is blind, yes. Like, never mind.
Someone yells out a name, Bruce is like, that guy's handicapped!
Victoria Seaver says just saw a
It's Rue of the
Krampus
Lift.
movie, and the main character was called Rue.
In where?
And a Krampus movie.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Rodney Pope says my nephew Dalton was named after Roadhouse.
Nice.
Brandon Marshall says hello. John C says which photo are you referencing?
Me? Whatever Stacy pulls up. Like right now, she's got
This is
it's
from
a
the
full body shot of one of the later Pumpkinhead movies, but I'm just getting a basic head shape from it.
from the Pumpkinhead wiki.
Pumpkinhead Wiki.
Grumpy Creation says I want someone to do a squirrel dog. It'd be kind of cool watching it chase itself.
How your mind does run on.
Lewis McLam says Alan and all the gang, you're my hero.
Thank you. That's very kind.
There.
Chat Mrs. Allen, I was thinking you had a Pumpkinhead figure you had shown in the past. Am I making that up?
You're making that up. I had a Demigorgon figure that I bought as a reference. That I bought as an excuse to buy a toy and use as a reference.
Brandon Marshall says hi, Alan.
Hi.
Ezekiel Bradshaw says Love Actually. Guilty pleasure. The wife usually makes us something cool to eat if I watch it again. Fair. That's also my guilty pleasure Christmas movie. Love Actually.
No way a kid can learn the drums that quick.
What's that, right?
There's no way.
He just pulls that out. super
Yeah,
fast.
there's no way a kid can learn the drums that
Hugh
quick.
Grant is adorable in it.
What's
Yeah.
the one with Bruce Willis?
Die Hard.
Die
That's
Hard.
the
No.
hot
Is
Die Hard.
it Fools Rush In?
The
Hey, hang on.
the
Let me get
two
started.
wives.
Die Hard 2.
One gets the whole blown through.
Die Hard 3. Die Harder.
Dead. Oh God, it's
Dead
not Dead
President.
Like Me. It's Dead. Not Dead
Death
Like Me.
Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her. That's right.
Death becomes her.
I love that one too. That's
I like that one too.
You're a
Oh,
lie, Ellen, and
and
I lie, and I can see
what's
right
the
through
Dan
you.
Aykroyd movie that he directed it, and it was really, really Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
I was going to say Ishtar.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Also
Different horrible.
very horrible, weird.
Ryland Child perhaps missed the. Have you ever tried oil-based clay, for example, Monster Clay?
I have. I don't really like it. It's slow. I need a clay that I can work as fast as I can think, and oil-based clay is just not that clay.
All right, Mike has a question for you.
Mike.
Do what you love at $25K a year, which is not enough to pay the bills, or do what you hate for $50K and the bills will pay.
You fool.
You fool, don't do
Look,
it.
look at me and what I'm doing. Like, I've always made that choice of do what I love. But if you do what you love for $25K a year for a while, and you get good at it, then you can make $50K, then you can make $75K, then you can make $100K. The job that you do does not dictate how much you make doing it. There are garbage men who make $150,000, $175,000 a year. They do it in the right neighborhood. You know, they have the right system. The job you do doesn't dictate how much you make. You do not have to do a job that you hate. Maybe you do have to. Maybe your mindset is one that you can't break free. Or maybe there are extrapolating factors and you think that things won't work out. We are very bad as a species and Americans even more so, at imagining the worst case scenario. Okay, what is the worst case scenario? And once you realize that you could live off of gruel, flour, and water, and hot dogs, and whatever, once you realize that you could be okay with that, you'd survive, and from there you're only going to get better, it's kind of liberating to know that's the worst case scenario. Almost no matter what I do isn't going to be that bad. But if you're bad at imagining the worst case scenario, what's the worst case scenario? I lose my job. That is not the worst case scenario. That's kind of bad. Maybe you have to get another job. But I find your question ridiculous. $25K a year to do what you love? Yes.
That's
Hands down.
more than I made last year.
50K to do something I hate? No. Offer me 100K. Offer me 200K. I say no. Offer me money. Offer me whatever I want. Offer me my father. I want my father back, you son of a bitch. No, you can't pay me enough to do something that I don't want to do or I don't love. I'm not going to do it right. I'm not going to do it well. I'm going to get by. I'm going to rip off the people who are paying me. So, no. I think you should do what you love. I'm very biased. I made that choice at 10 years old and I haven't changed my mind or deviated off course. It was very easy for me to live in my car and live in a crappy apartment when I was 19, 20, 21, 25. By 27, I was managing haunted theme parks because I put in my time early. Now I'm still...
And you stuck with it.
Now I'm managing multi-million-dollar haunted attractions, and I'm selling to other haunted attractions. I started doing YouTube to help share, you know, because I've always kind of felt blessed in what I do. So, yes, do what you love for $25K and do it for 10 years. Then, you ought to be able to make $50K. You ought to be able to make $100K. But, still doing what you love. I talk too much.
We're going to catch up.
Yeah.
All right, Andy Iyer says serendipity. Love that one. Poison Sumac says thought highly of the rules in Zombieland.
I thought that was a very well laid out movie.
Big Ink Studios says what about Poultrygeist?
Terrible.
Blue River Lore says the creeping terror, a bunch of guys under a sheet that would creep up on someone and cover them to eat them. It's on Amazon.
But that's also the guys in Beastmaster, which I love.
Well,
the guys with the big sheet arms,
Yeah.
and they were just like latex sheets, and they would grab you, and they would go, and they would open it up, and they would spit out bones and green goo. Yeah, good times.
Ken Zarif says, I wasn't calling from Dust Till Dawn cheesy. That was supposed to go along with the favorite Guilty Fantastic movie when I watched that movie. I love that movie.
Fair.
Chad Smith says Death Becomes Her. Nothing But Trouble. Swinging
Oh
Miss.
yeah, nothing but trouble. Not there you are, scoundrels. You're totally right.
Captain Mojo says Invasion USA, Cannon Cheese. Chuck Norris, Richard Lunch, Shootout Drive through the mall. They destroyed a real town in that film. They were building a highway, so they let them blow up the town.
Nice.
Chad Smith says I'm grossly underpaid.
Which one?
Invasion USA.
Yeah, because you can do a job you hate for $25K.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, no one's gonna say, hey, you
Did a
know.
job I hated for 5 years at $35K.
Yeah.
Wasn't enough. Bobby Dawson says, I know hairdressers that make more money than doctors. Al Mantra Art says, Zombie Beavers for a cheesy movie and a Christmas Carol, if you think about it. It's a paranormal horror flick.
It's just Zombievers. It is just Zombievers.
Thank you, Susan the Tide. $20 in Super Chat.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
She said, $25K and $20. Haha, just sending some love.
Thank you so much, very kind. I got worked up, I apologize.
Ezekiel says, worst case scenario is dead.
Yeah, like that's worst case scenario. And anything that you can do to keep your head above water and keep that from happening, you're fine. Once you realize that worst case is dead, could you live in a trailer on someone else's property and shower in a bucket? Yes, you can. And do what you love? Sure.
I'm worse.
Warmongers is the world according to Alan. Kalisha F says, anyone remember Goonies? Chad says, hey, here we go.
Love Goonies.
Anybody
Yeah,
remember?
that's
Everybody
also-
better remember.
That's a
Andy
good
Irish
one.
says, Andy, you Goonie. Graphy UK says, hi guys, hope you're all keeping well. I bought a lottery ticket. You never know.
Hooray!
Ken Zareen says, baby rude.
If you win, you gotta come visit us in Texas
That's right.
eventually. Not,
Yeah.
not right now.
Enjoy it for a
We
bit.
must clean up.
We must clean.
Sorry about the state of the place. It's,
Yeah.
Maintenance in progress.
It's actually pretty clean right
Oh,
now.
the shop is clean.
We meant the country.
Yeah. We were going a little
Sorry,
bigger.
was running a little slow there.
That was a group apology.
Or
I'm having a
Goonies
night, all right?
Goonies was the best.
Yeah, Goonies was fun. But not as good as Monster Squad.
Nope.
I feel like Monster Squad was better than Goonies. And when I say I feel like, I mean I'm going to argue about it if you disagree.
We can have a fight.
Things are gonna happen.
Andy Geyer says, night guys, 3 a.m. Because be here too quick.
So,
That sounds terrible.
Graphic
Pumpkin.
UK says, I'll buy Texas.
hooray! Come by Texas. I welcome our new overlords.
Kenzari says, Chunk,
Especially
truffle
with traffic.
shuffle.
What's that?
Kenzari says, Chunk, do the truffle shuffle.
Yes. Yes. I wonder where that actor is. Is he alive?
He's like a lawyer now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. I know some of the Monster Squad kids died.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think they were adults when they died.
Oh, small fingers.
Yeah. This looks like poo. Yeah, this is not, it's not a good mask so far. I need to rake a bit and see what I've got.
Thank you, Scott Colehart. Says, help support these shows. Sign up at the Slippy Studios Patreon.
Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, Patreon's a new thing that we're doing. We're still figuring it out. I just went on a tirade with a thought of the day, but I do have thoughts of the day that I post on Patreon. Let's say 5 days a week. That sounds doable. And then I post some long form videos, and we're due like a Patreon only live here coming up, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some technology to figure out, but yeah,
Happen to Mojo says he's a big time agent. Chad says he's a lawyer in Vegas.
nice.
Ezekiel says, I'm not taking movie recommendations anymore after Princess Bride.
Dude, I don't
that's a
know.
great movie.
Yeah, that's a great. You know what?
You're allowed to be wrong.
Here's what it is. It is probably that is a great movie for an American mentality.
Yeah.
And maybe the cultural difference in Australia, while we line up in many places, make it not as good of a movie. I've seen some movies from other cultures that they said were great, and I'm like, this is not great.
Hard to Andy Geyer says, by the way, congrats Shannon for pronouncing my last name correctly. Not Shannon, but thank
Yeah,
you.
Shannon's not here right now.
Stunt Shannon.
We have
So Shannon.
Stacy.
Ken Zarich says, Monster Squad is one of my top 5 movies. Paul Bennett says, Howdy Monsters and Creeper Gang.
And you know what? I'm also going to say Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. I love that movie.
Kalisha F says, Princess Bride blessed your life, Ezekiel. Ron Chef says, Princess Bride is a great movie. I like that.
Where we all team up on Ezekiel and tell him how wrong he is.
Ezekiel, it's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. We love you anyway.
Ezekiel, even I love Princess Bride.
Yours is better than mine. Want to feel good about yourself? Take the camera, go look at mine. I'd be like, man, Alan's been sculpting this turd for the same amount of time I've been working. His looks like a bull just dropped it out of his bum.
No, I'm getting that. No, it's, dude. It's coming together.
Yours is so clean. Yeah, you're doing good work. Turns out you're hired.
Paul Bennett says, I'm late. What are y'all sculpting?
I'm sculpting
Paul.
I'm sculpting Pumpkinhead, and Stan is sculpting a genie. Hard to lip read a gin,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Ronnie Pope says, I love the Abbott and Costello nesting monster movies. Blanket Thor says, Princess Bride is awesome. Felicia F says, I see an alligator head from that view.
Yeah, he has a weird little snouty bit, and without the big lump on the back, it's not going to scream Pumpkinhead
Right.
until it has that, you know?
It's gonna be like the last thing, and all of a sudden,
Yeah. And not even until I cast it. Like, if you look at what my, the guy from Stranger Things, the Demigorgon. If you look at the Demigorgon mask, it looks like garbage when you pull it out of the mold.
Tiny
Right.
orange.
But it's this piece, and then you add all the other stuff to it, and then it looks like a Demigorgon.
Oh, really? I bet you could pull it
I
off.
have this at home. What?
Thank you, Ron
I
Schiff,
know when
for
that's
typing up what we said.
happened.
Thanks, Ron!
That does make me so happy when people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that you can lip read for it, but until we get automatic generated captions, it's just lovely that people help. Mike Murphy says, I thought you were sculpting a duck.
Yep.
Chad
Yep.
Smith says, I can see Pumpkinhead.
It's always a duck.
Today it looks like a duck. Like, this is the most duck-like of the things I've said were a duck. This is the most duck-like.
Ezekiel says, American Snake Croc Dundee is how Mike Dillon is. The amount of ridiculous questions I've had about Dundee and Steve Irwin is absurd.
Man, I love that movie. I loved Crocodile Dundee as a kid. Because, here's why.
Okay.
If Paul Hogan can get that girl, then there is hope for me. And it worked out, because I hit way above my weight class.
Chad Smith says, America loved that damn movie.
Paul Hogan is made out of, like, suitcase leather.
Yeah.
That's what he's made out of. And he scored a hot lady in the movie, and I'm like, there's hope for me.
you know what also might have ruined it? Australian for beer.
Oh.
Ezekiel, do people mess with you
Foster's.
about Foster's beer randomly?
Do you guys like Foster's?
The Australians
No.
that I know don't.
Or is it that they can't sell it in Australia, so they export it to America?
They bum it off on us.
Felicia F says, wow, haven't thought about Croc Dundee in eons.
And yet you should. You should.
Maybe that'll be one of our live stream movie watches.
You know, you're trying to kick this whole stereotype though, and you're also the guy sharing videos of kangaroos
kangaroos.
following up on people.
Flexing, Jesus.
That was Rue Ferrigno.
Yeah,
For
seriously.
real, that kangaroo, that was Rue Ferrigno.
Blue River Lore says Alan Sculpt looks like the lizard guy that Captain Kirk had to fight.
Gorn! It's a Gorn!
Chad
Cheney.
Smith says Foster's is
No, it's a
terrible.
play.
Ezekiel's not talking to us anymore.
It was a legit question about the Fosters.
Horror Beauty says that takes me back, but did not like that Dundee. Paul Benson says Croc Dundee is cool, big knife in New York. Felicia F says, nope, he looked leatherish to me too, he scared me. Ezekiel says, yeah, it's an export, we call it piss.
Yeah, I mean,
That
as
makes
a,
sense, it makes sense.
yeah, marketing Paul Hogan as a sex symbol, I mean, that
Brilliant.
was a brave move.
The
Like,
balls of that touch.
yeah, because it's like the Emperor's new clothes. It's like they know something that we don't. We just got to go with it.
Yeah.
They have to know something that we don't. There's got to be an X factor that we're not considering.
It's the
No.
it's the exoticness of the Australian accent.
Indiana Jones, but a foreigner.
Rodney Pope says Cheney's in the house.
Cheney is in the house.
Chad
You are
Smith says that's
terrible.
pretty accurate. Janet Burkhardt says he was sexy.
See? She knows. My wife knows sex.
Rachel Powell says random movie from my childhood that I absolutely love is still Romancing the Stone.
I love that movie.
That's a pretty good one.
Good catches.
Whenever,
Good catches.
so sometimes when I'm fishing, I fall down a muddy cliff because of where and how I go fishing. And I always think about the movie Romancing the Stone when I do, because one of them, I pull out Romancing the Stone all the way down this like
Skipping, rolling.
70-foot muddy
Oh,
cliff.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was awesome. And like halfway down, I picked up an armadillo. So I'm falling down, this armadillo is falling down beside me. I'm like, ah, get away from me. Yeah, it was rough.
I have no regrets.
I remember
Felicia F says the accent, yes. The body, no. Lisa Art says, named my daughter after Holland Taylor for Romancing the Stone.
Nice.
Now, am I remembering Romancing the Stone right? Was that like
Am I
Like
don't know that
discount
name.
Indiana
Michael
Jones?
Douglas.
The guy who's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Michael Douglas.
and maybe the lady from Moonlighting?
No.
No?
Kathleen Turner.
A lady like the lady from Moonlighting? Yeah.
It's like-
Blonde 80s lady?
Blonde Days.
like discount Indiana Jones?
Smart blonde 80s lady.
What that was.
Because there are several sets of blonde 80s ladies.
Ezekiel says, Paul Hogan had a comedy show in Australia way before Dundee. We were kind of over him by the time Dundee came around.
Nice. Let's see, you exported him.
Blue River Lore says, but was Kathleen Turner waiting for you at the bottom?
No, no.
These aren't
Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner.
That's who it was.
There was a creek waiting for us both at the bottom. And I have
Oh,
video
hello,
of
wife.
armadillo swimming.
Hello, Stunt Shannon.
Stump Shannon.
Stump
Stunt
Shannon.
Shannon.
Yeah, Funky Shannon.
Chad Smith says it was a romantic version of Indiana Jones. All right. That's what I'm talking
And the best part of Indiana Jones was that it wasn't romantic. That was the best part.
Like, you ain't got time for all that mess. You gotta be
There
looking
were
for it.
romantic sections in Indiana Jones.
Look, that girl had "I love you" written on her eyelids. Like, that's romance right there.
And it's done with in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
That's true.
Hey, thanks, wife.
It's very hot.
For you.
Oh, I thought you were tuning me up.
Oh my god, it
Oh,
smells so good. I haven't had this since last
Thank
year
you.
at Jake and Emerald's
Rue?
party.
Damn.
I'm taking the lid off.
So the cool down faster.
Thank you.
Little holiday cheer for you.
Blue River Lore says, Shannon's here, everyone act innocent.
No, she's been watching the
Smith
show.
says, Shannon, I'm waiting
Have
for
you
my
met
old-
Shannon?
There's more than one camera here. There's-
Acting innocent with Shannon?
Line Victor says, hi Shannon. Janet Burkhart says, what's in the cup?
In the cup is mulled wine. I don't know if you're familiar with mulled wine.
What is it?
Looks like
Oh,
that.
alright.
It's holidays in a cup.
It is wine with oranges and spices and
Brown sugar, it's got a little orange juice in it.
Shannon posted a version of the recipe on the Creepers page.
Tom Chef says, this live is about to take a dive. I don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna get hilarious.
Be real funny soon.
There's all the
Jana
pizza
says, I'm so jealous.
As you should be, ma'am.
Ken Zarish
I
says,
don't know, I
hello
know
Shannon.
already.
Janet Burkhart says, I want some.
Hey, Jana!
Stan, how far is your drive?
Susan Atai says, hello to the wife.
15 minutes.
You're 15 minutes away from having some.
Get in the car, babe.
Lock up the dogs. Don't pack up the dogs. We don't want the dogs.
Kelly Chef says, mulled wine sounds awesome
No, I
right
think,
now.
you know
I'm
what'd
just
be
looking for
great?
some warm
I
witch's
really
brew.
do want to bring them here so
It's
you're drinking straight.
Holidays
now.
in a cup.
Jana says, I have to get up at 5.
Like scare straight.
So do
now.
I.
I'm sure that Boris would be afraid of your dogs. Because Boris.
Kelly Chef says, hey Shannon.
Boris.
Bella would not handle their crap.
Ivan P.S. says, yum.
I don't think Jane would either.
It's delicious. No, Cheney has no time for tomfoolery. That
No.
is, takes after me that way.
Ivan P.S. says, I put cider in mine.
Yeah, I mean, well, like Shannon said on the Creepers page, she doesn't make it the same way twice. You know, it's like, what do you have? What, you know, it's all going to be good no matter what.
Yeah, I seriously haven't had this since last year at Jake and Emerald's party, and I am so excited.
Yeah. See, the issue with that is sometimes there's not a lot of food at Jake and M's party.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, and like 3 or 4 glasses of this.
Dude, yeah.
And that's why we have the
People
rule.
were hitting the mulled wine and they were feeling no pain.
Police justice, I'm waiting on the cash app or something for the cookies. Paul Bennett says that sculpt looks like Bowser from Super Mario. It resembles it. Warmonger says everyone's being good, then Shannon, the pusher, comes in with alcohol.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea.
You just called Shannon like
Butcher?
Pusher.
Oh, pusher.
the innocent
Shannon
one.
a butcher.
It's like
Jeez.
you
He's not
really don't know
Hardcore
Shannon.
really quick.
Ezekiel says, can you get tanked off mulled wine?
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Just like wine.
Uh.
Like, I don't drink, I don't like the bite of alcohol, but you don't taste any alcohol in this. And I am not a sipper. I never learned the art of sipping a beverage. If I have a glass, I'm going to drink it. I drink an amazing amount of fluids. And if it's mulled wine, I could accidentally drink way too much, way too fast.
You really know Alan drinks a lot of fluids if you ever take a road trip with Alan in the van.
Victoria Seaver says, I love that Alan says old school tomfoolery.
Yeah.
Tina says, how about Irish coffees? I will drink it.
Delicious. Delicious.
It tastes like someone put some, well, I don't like the taste of coffee very much in all honesty, but that's why I have a Monster Energy in the morning.
Icy Monster says, I like what your shirt says, Rue. Shannon Hobbs says, I'm doing the Lord's work.
Yes, she is.
Blue River
Thank you,
Lord
Lord.
says, I always thought it was mulled wine, M-O-L-D.
Oh, no, it's M-U-L-L-E-D. Like mulling spices.
Chad Smith says, like the Tree Topper video, for whatever reason after you got the fur on it, made me think of Wolfie from the Munsters. It didn't look like it, it just reminded me with the fur and the color of the head.
Yeah, 'cause it was tiny and yeah, absolutely. Make yourself a wolfie.
Mike Cherzanowski says, what's that round metal tool?
What?
Wolfie.
That's Stan. Don't call him that. He's a nice guy.
It's a chair.
tool you were using.
I am using, what's that round metal tool? I'm using a rake. So this is it's a little hacksaw blade basically that it smooths it out by carving a bunch of lines in it.
Is it a twisted ring?
No, this is a straight rake.
Happy Mojo says, you'd like Ripple, Red Fox approved.
Okay?
I bet I would.
I mean, if you like Strawberry Hill or Thunderbird, or you like
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Is that like Boondog,
Cheaper and worse.
Boone's Farm?
Cheaper and worse. It's like an apple tasting.
Alright. Or like Mad Dog.
Gasoline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in that Mad Dog area.
Alright.
Yeah.
Dry brush that dark gray.
Huh?
Dry brush
It
that
is not
dark
a
gray.
fine
Right.
beverage by any means.
Sure.
Poison Sumac says, Irish coffee, brew the coffee hot as hell, sweet as love, black as night, then throw away the coffee and drink the whiskey. It's the elementary martini, gin over ice. You take the bottle of vermouth, you hold it up next to the glass, and you put it away.
Put it away.
Billy Chef says Mad Dog, yeah.
Mad Dog
Chad Smith said,
Twice.
Stan is in his zone, he didn't even flinch at that.
Mad Dog.
No, the tool remark. I had a friend who would steal a bottle of, because he refused to pay for it, Mad Dog 2020. He would only steal it. He liked to drink it, but it was so bad he didn't want to pay for it,
Yeah.
so he would steal it.
Yeah, we would get
What you
it,
do.
and as it turns out, it is nearly the exact same flavor and color as the McDonald's orange drink that they used to have.
Of course.
Okay.
So you'd get a McDonald's cup with the orange drink, dump out about half of it, fill the rest with Mad Dog 2020, and be drunk teenagers in a park. It was fun.
Hooray, ton teenagers.
Yeah. I had it there for a little bit. Blue River Lore says, MD 2020, lottie the headaches. Blue Chef is Everclear.
Oh,
Oh.
Ezekiel
See,
says-
Everclear was my teenagers.
I mean,
So tough.
the only time I've stolen a
You've
car
heard that.
was I stole a minivan to drive home several young ladies who got, in Maryland you had field parties.
yeah,
Like you would go to a
we
field
had that too.
and you'd have a bonfire and people would bring alcohol that they could not handle. And
So
there were all these passed out teenage girls who like, So I stole a minivan from the party. It was someone's, but, and,
Take it back.
no, I was so done there. That was not my scene. I only went to the party so I could talk to the landowner because I mistakenly thought they knew that there was a party on their property
So you
about
went to-
doing
you
a
went to
haunted house
snitch.
there.
Uh-oh.
No, I wanted to do a haunted house there.
Ezekiel says, I think Americans have mastered the art of booze, not having a booze taste.
It's more of a
That's how I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warmonger says, as a kid, we would drink Wild Irish Rose, Mad Dog 2020, and Morgan David. Morgan David? Janet Burkhart says, Purple Passion.
Oh, yeah. it is.
Baba Daza says,
Throwback.
Alan, will you be doing a Christmas tree outfit? And by outfit, I mean turning yourself into an actual tree.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Shame we do.
And maybe
That's on the
Rue
list.
is in town long enough for you to help me out this week.
So it's funny about Everclear too. I just remembered. Everclear is illegal in Minnesota. Like, but we always had it.
It is a,
Always had it.
Everclear's like the ingredient that you use to make other drinks alcoholic.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
like
pretty
supposed to drink Everclear. I know a terribly inappropriate joke about Everclear and an alligator
Oh my.
that I probably shouldn't tell on YouTube.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Save it for a Patreon
Yeah, same for the
exclusive.
Patreon.
Still be 7 hours.
Fella, you're so good at that.
Did she get you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
If Stan wasn't in the way, that would have been on film too.
Yeah.
I'd have sent you right to Fail Army.
Khalid Chef says I use Mogan David in my cranberry sauce. Chad
Nice.
Smith says talking about Mad Dog. What was the horror movie where they were drinking some strange skunk beer and it killed them? Might have been a trauma film.
Who knows?
Skunk beer.
There,
I don't know
there-
why I think that's.
there was a movie that I scrolled by the other day, and it was, who are the two kids who got killed by the witch?
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel get baked.
Nice.
And it was Hansel and Gretel, and they're trying to steal marijuana from the witch.
There you go. Blue River Lord says from cheesy movies to cheesy drinks, we're running the gamut this evening.
Yeah, it's a sure sign of quality.
Khalid Chef says Logan. No R. Gotcha. Ann Argo Davies says Boone's Farm Strawberry Fields. Oh yeah. So many wrecked nights on those.
Oh, very bad stuff.
Line Good Thor says ball shot. Yeah, that was what happened. Warmonger
Yeah.
says maraschino cherries and a bottle of Everclear cherry bomb shots.
Ooh. I like the cherries.
Ezekiel says, yeah, Aussies are the same despite the taste. Oh, so good.
You're enjoying your mulled wine? I'm
I
still
am.
waiting on mine to cool down.
Me too.
You know,
I need fire.
Yeah.
so why? Still.
Stacy's like, this ain't nothing, yo.
Your tongue burns heal really quickly.
And yet, not worth it.
Those maraschino cherries in a bottle of Everclear, they have that moonshine.
Oh
Those moonshine cherries. Danger, Little Robinson, danger.
Don't they just sell the cherries now, though?
Right.
Yeah.
Steeped in moonshine, yeah.
Yeah.
They're magical. Kenzer says moonshine. Khalid Chef says I'm definitely getting up to make a glass.
Oh.
Yes. I know, right? Oh, so good.
Oh, that's magic.
Oh, oh.
To me, it tastes like Christmas.
Yeah, it does.
Like mulled wine tastes like Christmas. I'm not a drinker. Like I don't drink, but I do enjoy the mulled wine.
Mike Thor says moonshine's awesome. Kenzer says moonshine hot sauce. Ezekiel said MHC apple pie moonshine. Damn, that was some good stuff.
Oh, that sure was. Barry Flanagan brought that in the first year I ever had it. It tastes like apple pie.
Mhm.
You could not taste the alcohol.
I had a couple of years ago, I forget, had some really good peach shine.
Ooh.
Who had
no.
Oh no.
Chad Smith says, I'm trying to keep it PG-13. In the movie, they were in a junkyard and playing keeper with someone's member.
Okay. You watch different movies than me, Chad.
Kenzer says, they have that here in Jersey in a gallon.
Woo. I say nay nay.
With hot sauce moonshine, like, do you put it on food or do you drink it? Because we got like pepper vodka.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've had that in
Oh.
Bloody Marys. That's,
Oh.
Hancock.
It's so good.
There was this guy who showed up to the party where we had the pepper vodka, who was already pretty drunk by the time he was trying to get drug out the door by his wife. And he was like, no, I have to go back in and say goodbye to people. And he came in and lined up like 6 shots of pepper vodka. And just boom, boom, boom. And then I had to
I bet
drag
that
him to
ride
the
home
car.
is great.
He passed out.
Okay, I bet the next morning
Yeah,
was great.
super.
Just super. And I don't mean the hangover, I mean like
Yeah.
the wine.
Whoremonger says, once in West Virginia, I had real moonshine and tripped balls. Realm says, looking good. Chad Smith says,
Thanks.
found it, street trash.
Yes. Isn't there like a toilet monster in that
Oh
too?
my gosh. Kenzuri says you put it on food. Alright, fair enough. The Horror Beauty says moonshine is dangerous like that. It doesn't taste like alcohol.
Yeah.
I
Happened
like
in Mojo.
Chad.
Says the only movie I know that features monster booze is Street Trash, but it's a low budget hard R comedy horror like Frankenhooker. Jana Burkhart says absinthe, anyone? Oh yes.
Absinthe is so good.
I don't, yeah.
There is a really killer vampire speakeasy in New Orleans that's upstairs above like a jazz bar,
Yeah.
and they have a whole fancy absinthe setup. Tom Edwards says if I really want to get crazy, I'll put marshmallows in my hot chocolate. Tom, go nuts, man! Extra marshmallows just for us.
Yeah. You sound like my kind of people.
Ezekiel says they handed me a bottle of apple pie moonshine on an MHC bus. I just started spelling it. A lot of folks on the bus were saying, no, not that much. Dead End Yard Hawk says, just tuning in, sounds like I missed the party.
Yeah.
Ezekiel is known for many things. His good decisions are not one of them.
Horror Beauty says horseradish vodka in a Bloody Mary stand. Woo.
Oh my goodness.
Stout.
I bet that sounds.
I bet that's stout.
Why do you hate yourself?
I bet it's amazing.
So check this out. This was many, many years ago
Yeah.
when I was in the military.
Oh, a Stan drinking story.
This is a Stan drinking story. And I, like,
These are rare.
they are, because it really is. So I went to this foreign country to go to work, and one of the things I found out when I go to foreign countries for work is the locals would try to feed us or give us to drink the nastiest stuff there was, and pass it off as local. And just be like, oh no, this is, you know,
We
awesome.
all drink this.
Yeah, we all drink this, and it'd be the nastiest thing. So we went to this place. It was a really, really nice, you know, place in the city I was in, and they brought out it was a tumbler, and it had cognac in it, and they called it a dragon's pearl. They dropped in the venom sac of a coral snake,
No.
and the whole point was you had to shoot it. And if it burst in your mouth, it would get in the mucous membranes and you die. And you swallow it whole, and then you wait to get like a crazy fever, covered in sweat, and then probably live. And we did 3 apiece that night.
Thanks. I hate it.
Yeah. So
That's horrifying.
that was the scariest. Now, my wife's watching. I can tell you some great Jana drinking stories.
Oh no.
Hooray!
So tune in for the After Dark.
Right? Graphic UK says Irish moonshine takes the varnish off and gives you a wicked headache. Chad Smith says street
Still want
trash.
to drink some.
Street trash is terrible but entertaining. Ezekiel says, oh Jan, that's the most I've ever been wrecked on absinthe. Proper absinthe too. Oh my, wrecked. Big Monkey Fez says it does have a toilet monster. A bum drinks it and it melts multicolored into a toilet.
Yeah.
Ken Zarif says, but if you love hot sauce and moonshine, then pop some shots. Yikes.
Looks like Colossus right now.
A little.
And the Russian mask with you.
Captain Mojo says, the movie Stacy's talking about has the old guy who's obsessed with Vegas, right? Played Seinfeld's father, frenemy, and Grace Jones.
I don't know.
It is a mystery. Jana Burkhart says, Stan. Piano bar, whiskey, and dropping pants.
You know what? That could have been anybody in that picture. If there's no face in that picture, that you can't prove it was me.
Ezekiel says, pirate bitters in Sweden. They tried that stuff on me. We all drink it. I was the last one standing. Piano bars are
Not that I
dangerous.
ever drank overseas.
Piano bars are great.
In the Middle East because it's illegal.
It's
there.
illegal. You can't drink
But,
that.
yeah, not
The
that I
people can mail you
ever,
stuff.
ever did that.
No, if it came in the mail, what are you supposed to do?
Well, I'm talking about the more the local drinks
Oh,
that
yeah,
they give you.
courtesy.
The
Yeah,
local-
not drink it, yeah.
the
You don't want to
local-
offend anybody.
I gotta see Pumpkinhead's eyes. So,
Gotta find a better picture.
yeah. Hey, is the person who was asking about eyes still on?
I don't know. Ring in if you're here.
Oh my gosh, that's delicious.
Isn't it?
Isn't it
Yeah.
nice?
Crazy good.
Alright. There.
So I was trying really hard to avoid the chiclet teeth. I think they look more like marshmallows now.
Okay.
Maybe overdue.
Hop on your phone and look at Mikey Rotella's video on sculpting teeth on YouTube. Mikey Rotella distortions sculpting teeth, and that will help you.
Alan, light gray, lighter dry brush?
Yeah, then you do a light gray dry brush.
Yeah, I know what's next. And then you later dry brush.
How's that?
That's pretty good. This eye is way too small.
Ooh. Oh, such a good monster.
Ezekiel says, go stand. Captain Emoji says, Rotten Monster asked about eyes. So, if Rotten Monster's still on,
These are too small.
Ron Shep says, looking more like Pumpkinhead. Big Ink Studio says, last time I drank moonshine, I woke up on my neighbor's picnic table. I've not had a drink in 5 years.
Nice. I was able to skip all of those terrible drinking stories by just not drinking.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Like, when I was a teenager, I had a legit, like, phobia that I was going to get drunk and then, I don't know why I thought these were so related, get drunk and end up with a baby. Not like I would steal one, but, you know, like the regular process, you know. Like, because I knew what I wanted to do for a living, and it's like, you know, give birth to a person, murder your dreams. Yeah.
Delay your dreams significantly.
Yeah,
until-
yeah,
until that person
by
is
about 18 years,
Yeah.
yes.
Rachel Powell says, Amazon shipping amuses me. Ordered several things, takes 24 hours to go across one state, then it goes the opposite side of the U.S. from its destination.
Sorry.
Janice says, Shannon, come over and make me mold wine.
See, the thing is, hon, you could have been here by now drinking the wine. I'm just saying.
Matt Slasher says, hey Alan, did you get my message earlier in the live stream? I sent it while shopping and didn't pay attention to whether it went through or not.
I don't,
Was it about the Doom Shroom? Is that who Matt Slasher is?
yes.
Then yes.
I got, yes, that Doomstream was in the mail, I got that. Was that it?
Felicia F says, no one likes a braggart. Grumpy Creation says, thanks to diabetes, I no longer imbibe alcohol, but I used to love bourbon from Minnesota. I don't remember hearing Everclear being illegal. Don't remember hearing Everclear being illegal. I never really paid attention either. Warmonger says, Alan had an awkward childhood.
You have no idea.
You
I
can
don't-
only get
I don't put my childhood on YouTube much.
you could only get Everclear in Wisconsin. Could not get it in Minnesota.
Baba Dawson says, Alan, that made me laugh just hearing the audio. Bill Hillier says, hello everyone.
Hey, Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Matt Slasher says, yeah, that's it, just wanted to check.
Go.
Chad Smith says, Alan, can we get a teaser on what the Patreon live event might be?
Well, it'll kind of be like this, but
But exclusively on Patreon.
just y'all, yeah. So no, we're not fighting for conversation, which is kind of nice. And you know what? When we had those live where there was 200 people on, and like it was too much for us to keep up with, and that's what really sold me on the idea of Patreon, where I would have a smaller audience there, you know.
Rachel Powell says, we have Everclear here in Indiana. Felicia F says, can I get the link to the Creepers page? If Scott's on, he'll drop
I
it.
don't know. Can you? I'm sure someone will give it to you.
Even I wanted to punch you just now.
You want what?
I said, even I wanted to punch you just now.
That's a prescript of this? Yeah.
Tom Everard says, I use Clear to clean out my airbrushes. Or use Everclear to clean out my airbrushes. Works great.
For a while there, I was using it to thin inks because we could not get alcohol.
Chad Smith says, is there the ability to chat still with Patreon Labs?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll do a chat link. It'll probably be a YouTube live, but we only give the link to Patreon.
Rodney Pope says, hit the thumbs up, creepers.
So I want you guys to notice, all right, my eyes weren't right. I am half an hour away to where I need to be kind of happy with this sculpture. If I proceeded with those other eyes, I wouldn't be happy with the sculpture. So you just have to fix it. No matter how long it takes you to make a mistake, fix it. Just because you are invested in failure doesn't mean that you gotta ride it to the end
The
and
sunk cost
make
fallacy.
it pay off. Yeah.
Right.
Habit Mojo says, I think the word you want is intimate, Alan. Careless whisper. But Ezekiel says, isn't Everclear just a crappy band?
Hey.
Yeah.
They're the band with like daddy issues, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like all their songs are about how their dad failed them.
Yep.
Yeah. Poison Sumac says, new people who bought Everclear to clean computer contact points. Jordan Bunce says, what are the odds of getting Carl in a Patreon?
Oh my goodness, you don't want that.
Dangerous.
That's not something that you.
Ron Shep says, Everclear was flying off the shelves because people were making sanitizer from it.
Yep.
Bill Hillier says, that mask looks a lot like my mother-in-law. How'd you get her pick?
Well,
Did it from memory.
yeah.
Chad Smith said,
Out of all the other dudes in your town.
Oh! Oh, nasty.
Probably should.
Rachel Powell says, best and worst drink I ever had was Everclear tequila, vodka, peppermint schnapps, all mixed in one tumbler. It went around the circle, stopping with me. After I finished, everyone asked where it was.
Like, this is great. I'm never doing this again.
Rodney Pope says, I'd love Alan as Carl in the sculpting line video.
Oh, it's Carl. I don't think he sculpts.
We have to go live from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Carl's not allowed in the house.
Yeah, not allowed in the house. That's faux show.
Chad Smith says, what do you channel when acting as Carl?
I don't. I mean, I
No.
just let it go. Truly.
Yeah.
Ezekiel says, boo.
It's just, yeah,
You retracted it, but I saw it.
it just
You're right.
happens.
Oh, boom. Gotcha. Thought you were booing no Carl. Alicia F says, peppermint schnapps and hot chocolate, best cozy drink. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
No.
That's strong words. This
I-
is pretty amazing.
I'd be willing to try it. I do
Listen,
like hot chocolate.
I will see your peppermint schnapps and hot chocolate and raise you the butter. Oh God, butter shots. Where's the butterscotch?
You had me at butter, you lost me at shots.
No, it's butterscotch schnapps and hot chocolate. It's amazing. Jordan Bunn says, I'm sure a how to scare video with Carl would fly off the shelves.
Oh.
Yikes. Ezekiel says, Carl is the real Alan.
Carl is, I kind of realize that a lot of what we have to do for haunted house line work is stand-up comedy. Carl is a stand-up comedian as much as a haunted house character.
That's fair.
Because, I have sets, I go there and I start this bit, and that bit is going to last 2 minutes, and I have, because of how haunted house lines work, I can go 7 bits deep with one group of people. But you don't stay with them, you hit them, and you work your first bit around the whole line, and then you work your second bit around the whole line.
That is 100% what we do at Deidre.
Yeah.
Bill Hiller says, you shouldn't say stuff like that, because if you know anything about my mother-in-law, you know her like most guys in my city.
Make that smoother. That's a little too harsh of a transition.
Okay.
So do that again. More of that light gray. That's too harsh.
Rachel Powell says, I've never been so drunk again. I fell out the door to the house we were at when I caught the heel of my boots on the threshold. Yikes. Chad Smith says, slippery nipple, love that drink. Cliche says, butterscotch and hot chocolate is also great. Haven't had that in about 5 years, so I forgot about it. Thanks for the reminder, Stacey. You're welcome. Ezekiel says, hot chocolate orange with vodka in a frozen water glass. Alright. I'll give it a shot. Rodney Pope says he's one of the best characters I've seen in a haunted house.
Thanks.
Horror Beauty says, Alan, I like the bigger eyeballs.
They were very much a better choice.
Tom Everett says, Everclear is also good for melting plasticine clay.
Okay. Little for you, little for the skull.
She says, Horror Beauty says it goes better.
Yeah.
Grumpy Creation says, Stacy, sorry texts are confusing because I can't type sentences correctly. That's right. I'm soldiering through.
Probably one of my favorite sculpting tools and rakes is a twisted brass wire.
How great is it?
This is my
That's
favorite.
what he's using
Yeah.
too.
But before I was not ready for this yet.
Chad Smith says, for not being a drinker, my favorite drink came from Alan. Rum chata and root beer.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's a good not drink or drink.
Rum chata is good, period. Ezekiel says, Carl's phone trick on my phone. Sensational. What's Carl's phone trick?
Tipping ladies at the club. No?
No.
Give me your phone.
Probably going to regret this.
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to regret this.
Cool.
In the meantime, these guys can hang out with Stan. But I need to wash my hands before I grab your phone.
Oh, thanks.
So I might as well tinkle.
Might as well.
So this is where we're at.
This is our life.
This is our life.
Horror Beauty says, oh no, not the phone trick.
The phone trick is back.
Oh god.
So this is where I'm at right now. So my reference, he's got a really long chin, even way longer than this, but I didn't want to make it something that would be hard, too hard to wear. And I didn't want it to, so we had this person, if she's watching, sorry, I don't remember your name, she made a banshee at Monster Camp that was just awesome. And had this really elongated chin and face. And so I don't want to pull too much from that, but I was a real fan of that mask when she made it. I really liked it. I think what I'll probably do is thin this out more here. And so yeah, I'm still, actually this is my first real try doing this, so
I think you're killing it, Stan.
I'm still sort of in that blocking out sort of kind of phase.
Jen's looking good.
So yeah, it's coming together. It's going to be awesome.
Chad says that'll go. Ezekiel says, haha, Stacey. Digging Studio says, grown men don't tingle.
Yeah, we do.
Alan does.
Alan is. And I'm drinking this awesomeness too. It's
Rachel Powell says, my friend
fantastic.
gave me a shot called a Royal Butt last karaoke night. It's Crown Royal and butter shots. Ooh. Alright.
Better. But nothing better, smoother.
Yeah. Calms down quite a bit.
Then you can add a little bit of white to that light gray. Do it again.
Again.
Anybody have a dollar bill on it?
I'm married. I haven't seen cash in years.
I'll give it back to you. I need a dollar bill. It could be a 5 or 20.
That's the best part about this. It costs $1 to lunch.
Okay.
Andrew Rogers is looking good.
Make that yourself? It doesn't even feel like something. Feel that.
It's so
Oh yeah, that's
crisp.
brand spanking.
There you go.
That doesn't even feel like money. Like that,
Wow,
that feels
that's
like this
like you
feels like
made it.
typing paper.
Telling people.
Bruce got a sweet day job.
Ezekiel says,
The
"Ruben
trick is
drops
don't
some
make
nasty
anything
bread."
over a 20.
Sure. Shanna Burkhart says, I heard that, Stan.
I forgot.
Hold
Yeah.
Okay.
Jokes, baby, jokes.
Rodney Pope says, Shannon recommended a whiskey on the Creepers page a while back. Anybody remember what that was?
No.
Y'all tag her. She's watching.
Okay,
Okay.
so you hold this up near your face. I want you to smile really big and look up with your eyeballs. Not your face, with your eyeballs. Up with your eyeballs.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Rue.
Oh.
Make it go. There we go. Stacy is tipping ladies at the club.
Thanks, friend.
I think, maybe.
That's says you may not want the bill back.
With my fingers, it's also thick ladies at the club, by the way.
Well,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah,
Hard
like-
for me to judge.
Like when I'm working at dark hour, I actually take a red pen and I draw a G string on this part of my finger, and no one ever sees it until I do that trick.
Baba Gonza says, man, I can't get this read to work, guys. Refresh times 10.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Poor Reedy says, yep, you're welcome, Stace. Rich Pal says that was great.
It is this bit of your finger right here, which looks like.
It looks like a butt crack.
No, looking at this, I could probably do it on video too with a little bit of twerk action. I gotta test that.
Baba Gonza says, back just in time for G-string.
Hooray!
Chad Smith says, I've seen worse. Being serious is we need a tutorial on that trick. Or if uses Alan's stripper finger. Ezekiel says, it could be a bloke at the club.
It could be.
That one actually kind of looks like it's a bloke.
It does
Actually.
kind of look like a dude, but
Again with my syllables thing. Dude, but oh.
Tears of Dairy Goon is an entirely different thing. Dude, but
If dude butt is out to find you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, but
Time to move.
whoa!
So a lot of what I do when I'm sculpting is I put something on and it's too thick and it's too heavy and then I have to work on it and thin it down. It's a lot of what I do.
It's very cold at this club.
Chili club.
Chad's missing out. You should do a TikTok of that.
Oh no.
Ezekiel says, I still have it on my phone from meeting Carl several years ago.
So I did that to someone, and I did it to I used a friend of his phone,
Yeah,
and I took his picture because he didn't know what he was doing,
yeah.
and he freaked out so much he was worried that someone would show it because he worked for like an organization with kids that
Oh,
will
God.
not like. So he ended up, and his friend charged him money to delete it off his phone.
That's hilarious.
I think it was like $40.
Good friend.
Well, yeah,
Captain Marcus says, and Shannon in the other room, no ladies, he's mine.
right.
Mike Murphy says, so the wine kicking in?
The wine is delicious.
Urban Molar, just laughing. Corbin says, also Alan said online, once he takes people's phone, he does that.
Yes. For a while, I had a projector hooked up at the stage, and I would pretend, I would get a phone out of the audience, and I would pretend to hook up their phone to the projector. And then I would go through like a few normal shots, and then I would show like weird ones. Yeah. It was just messing with the audience. All right, Pumpkinhead's teeth.
They look like people teeth.
More?
Yes, heavier than that. All right, so
More
what you
Walker
want,
Says, alcohol, stripper fingers, talking about this chat. This chat reminds me of my family get-togethers at the holiday.
what you want, this is, there's too much black happening down here still.
Oh, okay.
Black is just in the deepest areas.
Mhm.
You don't want that black to be any wider than like a 1/16 of an inch.
Okay.
So go ahead and hit it again with that lighter gray.
Graphic UK says, there's a cemetery in Quinlan called the Oddfellows because my stepfather owns a pub in this town called the Oddfellows Arms.
I do not know. I've only lived in Quinlan a couple years, so I don't know. It's possible.
Bill Hillier says, what would you say is the best stuff to use to make realistic feeling intestines?
I've never felt someone's intestines, but I'd probably guess silicone. Silicone and methyl cellulose.
Yep.
Chad Smith says, do you get to act much at dark hour, or as a director do you spend more time with?
I get to act. I pawn my job off on other people as soon as we open up so that I can play. Even if I'm not in costume, we have a lot of good spots where I can just go and be in a dark room and mess with folks. Or behind a curtain and they never see that I'm not wearing a costume. Alexa, countdown 10 minutes. Stan, you have 15 minutes of sculpting time. You have 15 minutes of sculpting time.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, countdown 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Well, the nice thing in dark hour is that we have a pretty sizable team of people who are wrangling the actors in the show, and a pretty sizable front of house team that are
Yes.
wrangling things outside.
That is because I
of the
lined
show.
up a lot of people to do my
Yeah, I
job.
was just saying.
So I did not have to do
Very
it.
well done.
So that I can go play when we're open.
Felicia F says, happily drinking witch's brew and laughing along. What is witch's brew? Do tell.
Stan,
Yes.
I'm in a position where I get to use the tool that we designed that I said you may never use that very often. This is the inner lip sculpting tool right here. And it's working a treat.
It's exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
Grumpy Creation says, finger butt, really, Alan? And you say my mind wanders.
How your mind doesn't run on. Which, by the way, I say that a lot, and that is actually a quote from a Jane Austen,
Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice. Yes, it's actually a quote from Pride and Prejudice.
Felicia F says, though I prefer homemade home wine. Chad Smith says, when filling a spot like that in the haunt behind the scenes, do you still require them to wear a costume in case they're needed somewhere else during the night? Or in case someone sees them?
I require them to wear a costume because that's the only way they're going to have pride in their work and what they're doing. If you are on stage, you ought to be in costume. If I'm making you work, you should be in costume. Is it going to be as elaborate of a costume as someone who is maybe outside of the haunt? No. Stan, I'm loving this lip tool right now. Like this is doing my whole mouth.
Ezekiel says, and you say you're not our smart friend, offloading your jobs to go play.
Heck yeah.
Shannon says, no, that was from Shakespeare's time.
Oh yeah, you're right. How your mind
I
is
can
wrong.
remember it from Pride and Prejudice,
Yeah.
but also, I've been wrong once before. Felicia F says, witch's brew is a pre-bottled red wine with mulled spices. I get mine at Kroger. Ooh, alright.
Neat.
Noted. Happen Emoji says, can you recommend a cheap filler for a body? I want to make it feel like fatty tissue as much as possible. I was thinking maybe DIY ballistic gelatin, but maybe heated foam. I want to keep costs low.
Do you have any weight requirements? Because gelatin would be so expensive.
Happen Emoji says, what's the recipe for silicone and methyl cellulose?
Well, you make silicone guts and you coat them in methyl cellulose. Methyl cellulose is the it's a slime basically. So it's gonna give those intestines a skin, a coating.
There. Now we're real good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Do it again, but don't add much more paint. Feather out what you've got. You still have some harsh transitions going on, and I need you to smooth that out, especially on the back of the neck.
Okay.
Max Slasher says, I missed the beginning of the stream. What's the sculpt tonight?
I'm sculpting a version of Pumpkinhead.
Stan is sculpting a gym.
And Stan is sculpting a gym.
Jordan Bunn says, we have a witch's brew at our haunt too. Apple cider and fireball. Also delicious.
I always get nervous about the haunts that have a signature drink for their cast. Like, like that makes me a little nervous.
Lee Chef says, you can always beef it up, but on short notice, I pour some in a mug or orange coffee glass and pop it in the microwave. Max Slasher says, Pumpkinhead is in the monster Pumpkinhead?
Yeah, that's the one. This is just part of his face, though. This is not all of Pumpkinhead. I will do the back of the head as an EVA foam type structure thing.
Chad Smith says, fireball is dangerous. True. The radius on that is huge. You gotta make sure your whole party's out of room. Oh wait, sorry, the drink.
That's like, what, 66 of damage?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why John will let us play.
Oh, wrong one.
She's always fireball. Mass Slasher says, one of the greatest monster movies of all time. Nice. Well, mine is anyways.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Chad Smith says, ha, Stacy's got jokes. Listen, D&D humor. It's not highbrow, but. Blanket Thor says, fireball and cream soda. Yum. Jordan Bunn says, I should clear the air on that. We have a pop-up bar outside for customers. After work, leftovers may or may not be for dinner.
Okay. Just making sure there, buddy.
Good night, Baba Daza.
Good night.
Police Chef says, fireball jello shots are great with cherry jello.
How many teeth are on the bottle?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I can see, probably 8. Cherry jello. I don't know, I had cherry jello on that.
That's because you're an adult.
You know, I had orange jello and lime jello at Halloween for jello shots. Max Slasher says, as far as looks alone, Pumpkinhead, Alien Queen and Predator might be my top 3 faves.
Yeah.
As he goes, honestly, Fireball is nasty. Fireball is the upgrade from what we drank in college, which was Goldschlager and Hot Damn.
Hot damn.
Hot Damn and Goldschlager, because, you know, you gotta be fancy.
Remember Avalanche?
Yeah.
Has crystals in it?
No.
Has sugar crystals all up in it?
Gross.
And it was.
She's like, ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Warmonger says, someday you need to do a trap job from He-Man.
Yeah, that's on the list. But honestly, I have. Because he has the same face as Mum Ra. So I'm going to just pour up a Mum Ra and then do the helmet and EVA.
Felicia F says, Fireball and eggnog is also good. Yes! Anything cinnamony and eggnog is great. Laura Kirchwell says, Fireball is nasty. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Yeah, that's not from a one-time sampling. That's from bad
She's
choices,
tested
by the
it,
way.
and
Now it is nasty.
Mass Slasher says, if you don't mind me asking, what were some of the other sculpture choices? There's a great big stack of
Monstar.
I was not committed to them, so they have stricken from my memory.
Monstar,
Grizzlord,
Monstar.
Monstar, Neanderthal. Yeah, there's bunches.
Troll, Zombie, Spikor, Oni, Punchback, Golem.
No, those are the actual choices.
Those
Those
are old
are all the.
ones. That's old ones. Gotcha.
Those are the ones that.
No, those are ones we didn't pick.
Didn't pick. This is this time? Jin, Grizzlord, Gargoyle, Skaven. Pumpkinhead, Neanderthal, Monstar, and Pork. Picking out Jin and Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Having a mojo says weight. Full body, I'm thinking about 40 to 50 kilograms, but I'll have it on chain, hoist, so not a big deal. I've worked on a cheap DIY ballistic gelatin recipe that makes about 5 kilograms for about $10.
Are you able to whip it and stabilize the foam with cream of tartar? At least for an interior fill?
Chad Smith says, I would say a high percentage of the fights I've been at had Fireball involved. Laura Kirschville says, hey, I'm allergic to Fireball. Every time I drink it, I pass out. Phil says, every time I drink Fireball, Laura passes out. Mass Slasher says, some of those have been on the list for a while, and Oni would be cool. If that is what I think it is, Japan-themed warrior character.
Yes. Basically, it's a Japanese ogre.
That's awesome. I would love to be doing that.
While I was answering comments on YouTube earlier, I applied to my own comments. With so meta. John C says, does your advanced navigation system use OnStar or Monstar?
That's good. Monstar! That's good. But no, that's good. Okay. Now, you add more white to it. And you do just the high spots.
Yeah.
Just the high spots. Very light.
Very, very, very light.
Having a Mojo says, you use cream of tartar as a stabilizer? I was thinking silicone oil.
Well, to stabilize the foam. Cream of tartar, that's kind of what it does.
Chad Smith says, but Ezekiel asks, is Rue working on a black and white Frankie?
Yes.
Steve Reaper says, I have an Oni character I do for my haunt. I love all the Japanese creatures. They are so cool.
I have a Pinterest board called, I think it's called like super secret high concept Japanese haunted house characters that I only made the Pinterest board to freak out Dan Baker and Robert Corey when they were working at Dan's haunted house, just to mess with them. Like I don't really have an intention, but it's fun.
I love their theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming together.
In the last couple minutes.
In the home stretch.
Stan, you have 2 minutes left of sculpting time.
John C. says, cream of tartar is the essential meringue ingredient people leave out when beating egg whites.
Yeah.
Mass Slasher says, I kind of want to sculpt Anubis, but a more scary werewolf snarling face version, but my talent level won't allow me.
So keep working and keep your back pocket.
Chad Smith says, just bought a Lazy Susan the other day for sculpting. Changed my life. So much easier sculpting a full mask.
Yeah. It is. We're actually going to pour up an Anubis tomorrow.
Ah.
Good. Again,
Again,
pure white.
pure white.
Even less.
Got it.
So I just make those teeth, like, I let them be square. And then I come in and I take them off to get those sharp teeth.
Graphy UK says, how is the foam Krampus mask coming on?
Good. It's coming on good.
John C. says, copper ions in the water interfere with foam stabilization.
Then how come you're supposed to use a copper bowl when you whip egg whites?
Ken Zarish says that Pumpkinhead is looking wicked.
Then you're not supposed to use a plastic bowl because plastic molecules are too close to fat molecules. So and you can't have any fat in when you're whipping your egg whites, or else it will destabilize the foam.
Happen to Mojo says, I'm not an issue with foam, but I don't use a roiling boil. My water gets to before any boil and filter it through twice. No foam so far.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, do foam on purpose as a filler. It's just a different texture.
Rob O'Brien says, this seriously looks like Godzilla.
A little, yeah.
Matt Slasher says, what are you using for eyes?
I think it was a Christmas ornament.
Yes.
Bless you.
I think those are the same eyes we used for Stinkworm.
Yes, I believe you're right. Alexa, stop.
10:01.
Stand. It is time for us to stop sculpting. I see that you're taking it just as seriously as I am.
Yes.
It's good.
Thank you, Felicia. Happy Mojo says, usually you don't use copper pans for acid reasons, right?
I think you do use copper pans when you're whipping for foam. When you want to beat egg whites, you do use copper bowls.
John C. says it's Pumpkin Dead.
That's a fun name.
Anthony Ratton says, good evening all, just watched The Power of Grayskull, the wonderful Netflix documentary on the origins of He-Man. I highly recommend you, if you haven't yet watched it.
I have seen it a couple times.
Felicia F. says, so splitting a ping pong ball is too small.
Yes, what I had first was a split ping pong ball, and they were too small. I upgraded to these. Here's my split ping pong ball, and you can see how much smaller of an eye that is. All right, so this is nowhere near done, but I think I'm on the right track now. I like it 100 times better than I did earlier. You guys can now see it at a little bit of a different angle. I am happy with it. I'm nowhere near done. It's probably the least done I've gotten in 3 hours.
Well, you had a slow start because of cold clay.
Yeah, and forms. Stan, you want to move the camera around? I'm talking to you, sculpture.
You know, I think for my first run, I'm not unhappy.
No, it looks great.
I'm not unhappy. I'd never made it to the ears and never really got to start refining anything, but I like the way the shapes are going and I like where it's headed.
You're a little off kilter.
Yeah, it's a little to
A
the
little
left.
skewed to one side. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I noticed that 3/4 of the way through and thought,
You get the wire, you cut it off, you move it over, and it's like nothing ever happened. You know what? Let's do it. Stan, let's do it.
get the wire.
We're gonna
get the
cathartically
wire.
cut this with Stan. We're gonna
Because he does
use
sort of,
the wire.
he leans this way.
All right,
Okay.
one last question from Matt Slasher. When using Loctite, if I don't use the whole can, it keeps seeping out. And regardless if I clean it, it dries up and I can't use it anymore. Any way to stop that?
Put away. Buy another one.
Nope.
Janet Burghardt says, look good, babe. Good job, babe. Sorry. Looks great, Stan from Scott Kohler. Janet Burghardt says, good job, babe.
Thank you. The wire.
Not the wire.
Okay.
Not the wire.
So, what I see your, like if you look at your center line, you pulled the Tom Cruise on it.
Right.
Get an orange. Clove.
So this needs to move over this way.
Is he
And the
using
best
his
way
for
to
pressure
do that-
masks?
Cut that off and move it over. Get out anything that's in the way. That's all under the cut, so it doesn't matter. Line up your two center teeth.
Forest Tier Studios is Be Brave, Stan.
You see how easy that was?
You've never sculpted here if you haven't seen the wire.
But
Yeah.
now
I'm in good company.
But now you've got to peel this back up and shave back some of that. because it's still puffed out a little bit. It's a little
Right.
monkeyish. But look at it, I mean, you're straight, and it's such an easy blend to get back to where you need to be.
Right.
Poison Sumac says Alan's could make a good snake mask. Realm says, good night, had fun. Thanks for making my night so fun. Y'all's masks are amazing.
I appreciate your guys' efforts. Imagine the big bulbous head back here. That's what makes a pumpkin head.
It does
Chad
look very
says I
snaky.
think stampede a little.
Nah, it's fine. It's all gonna be fine.
All right, see, say goodnight.
Good night.
Rue, say goodnight.
Good night, Rue.
Stan, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for those who super chatted. Thank you to everybody on here who has joined Patreon and supported the channel. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Good night. Go make stuff.
Go make stuff!